born a baby. Oh, we burn down the road. Yeah, but we were born a baby. Oh, we burning down the road. I'm a wheel born a baby. This life never gets old. Come on, wheel burners. Yeah, burn with me. Come on, wheel burners. Yeah, burn with me. Oh, take a ride now on the Wheelburner Express. Yeah, Wheelburner Express, baby.
That's just for you, James. I had Campbell put that diddly 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 for an extra what was that, about 7 seconds there on the end. And the whole time I'm thinking Best is going to lose his shit and come unwound. He's going to think the song is over. And there's that last 7 seconds is going to put him over the edge. He'll be reaching for the beer fridge. Ah, fuck. I kill me sometimes. And that lineup is long of people that want to do that, but I'm at the head of my own lineup to take myself out these days. Going on. You know what? It is Saturday. Are we afternoon? Yeah, we're afternoon. Quarter to 1 my time. So 12:45 my time. What's going on, people? What is going on? Good morning, Shannon Thomas Truckin. What's going on, Nick Earl? How the hell are you, brother? Adrian, good to see you. Thanks for popping in. Best, always good to see you. You know that. Invader, Donnie, how are you, man? How are you? I got a question for you. I was going to call you yesterday to find out, but I sent you that list of the finance companies. I took that snapshot and sent it to you. I'm just wondering if anything came of that. Just I don't know whether you made an inquiry or made a phone call or just anything. Just, you know, I'm just curious. I'm being nosy, Donnie. I'm just being nosy. You know what I'm like, right? So, old school. My daughter, a pen cent would not be the same. It must be stolen. Okay, old school. There's a new pen coming. All right, I'll send you a couple of them. Put one in every room of the house, one in the truck. Keep one in the dash of your car. All right, we'll just fucking. I'll just send you enough fucking pens so it doesn't matter how many get stolen. But, oh man. Nick Earl's around. Dirty Curdy's walking around. How the hell are you? Hey, how you doing, brother? Good to see you, Curtis. Need to have a little chit chat with you a little more often too. Guys, we got to keep Curtis on the straight and narrow. Okay. We got to keep Curtis on the straight. He's doing pretty good, but like any 5-year-old that's learning to walk, or actually 2-year-old or whatever, learning to walk. You can tell I was never around when my kids were learning to walk, right? But as any kid's learning to walk, you got to keep them on the straight and narrow, you know. So Dirty Curdy's one of them there. So, yeah, we know James. James has a man crush on Curtis, but I can honestly tell you, it's not Curtis. James, you and I both know it's not Curtis that you have. It's Curtis's tits. You want to motorboat the hell out of Curdy's boobies. And you know it, and I know it. I have looked into it quite honest yet. Okay, I haven't looked into it quite honest. I'm still doing the pros and cons, blah, 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 blah. I like the lease idea for sure, though. We charge personal property tax, no Missouri. So Okay, that works out. Bullshit. Words do hurt. When my daughter looks online and sees another video calling me a pedo, she cries and gets all upset because this. Well, I'll be honest, GW, if she's looking at content maybe that's calling you a pedo, maybe she shouldn't be looking at the content. Just saying, brother. Just saying. I'm not one to judge. I'm not one to judge. Okay. I put that title up there, and I put that up there for a reason, because I got called out this morning. I got 2 phone calls. I got called out on something I said on Zello yesterday, and I really don't give a fuck about what I said. But that's neither here nor there. We'll talk about that a little later if you want. But if words really seriously did hurt you, you know, it's because you allow them to. I'm not saying that you're going to be bulletproof. You know, nobody's bulletproof, and you can have words that might hurt your feelings for a few minutes. But if somebody says something to you that's hurtful and it's life altering or life changing, that's not on them. That's on you. That's just kind of how I look at that. Okay. It's just kind of how I look at that. I've never allowed words or anybody saying anything about me. And I've been on YouTube long enough now that a lot has been said about me, good and bad, but I've never allowed it to sway me one way or the other as a man, and how I live my life and what I do, how I take care of my children or my family, or how I behave. Yeah, I just don't do it. I don't allow it. It's not that important to me. Words are not that important. The only people that I need to impress, first of all, is myself. I'm the only one I answer to. If you're a good Christian, then maybe you'll say, "Oh, I answer to God," and whatever like that. But I'm not a good Christian, so I don't have those beliefs. But sorry, I'm reaching for a lighter here. But that's what I answer to. I answer to myself and myself alone. After that, I answer to my spouse and my children and my family and whatnot like that. I don't answer to any trolls. I don't answer to anybody on YouTube. I don't answer to anybody at the place where I'm contracted to work. You know, and if they want to say something that's hurtful or mean or nasty about me or to me, load up and fire away. Really, load up and fire away. You know, look at Nick. Nick, you are a ballsy bastard. Dar must not be around. Yeah, she's gone for the day. She'll be back in a bit. Profane truth. That's a good way to put it. That's called brutal honesty, is what that is. What you just said. If the words are true, suck up the hurt and move on. I can agree with that. There's been a couple of times you and I have not agreed when you've written shit on my screen or whatever, but I'll agree with you on that one. I'll give you that one right there. Just think about that. Okay? Think about that. If I'm doing something that's going to cause people to say mean, rude, hurtful things about me, I have to be somewhat responsible for that. There's something I'm doing that's causing that. So Shannon thinks she's funny too. Everybody's got their comic hat on today, eh? I really don't want to talk about Curtis's tits, though. No, I don't want to. Unfortunately, Mr. B's, I've seen them live, up close. Don't need to see them again. What am I doing on Zello? You know what? I'm just bouncing around. You know, I'm not in anybody's headspace. I'm not in anybody's gun barrel sights, you know, and I just, you know what, I hang out, I throw it into the big room that they call it, whatever they call it. That's Elite's room there, or Cordova's room, or I don't even know whose room it is there. And you know, it's good to sit in there and listen and talk. As long as it's a related subject that I know something about, I'll put my 2 cents in. If they're talking about shit that I have no idea what the hell they're talking about, or if they're talking about something that, you know, I don't really want to get caught up in, then I don't. I keep my mouth shut, but I sit and listen. It's all good. It's not like I'm trolling it, you know. I think with Zello, they can tell who's in the room and who's not. So, yeah, we know what happens when he's left unsupervised. I take no responsibility. Here I go. I take no responsibility for what's about to happen over the next however long this goes for. I'm sorry. No, well, you're a well-trained husband. You've got that down pat. I'm sorry. Good afternoon, Trucker 69. How the hell are you? Man, I'm doing okay. I got in off the road. When did I get off the road? I got in yesterday afternoon, late yesterday afternoon. A short week, you know, because the holidays. Fuck all you can do. I didn't go out. Usually I go out on Sundays. This week here, I didn't go out till Monday. Did a couple of quick rounders. Made it back up to the house. Like I said, last night, yesterday afternoon. Got in the door here, relaxed, had a shower, had some dinner, hung out with Dar. Believe it or not, went to bed. I think this is the earliest I've been to bed. I think I was in bed at like 9 o'clock last night. I was running on grandpa time, you know. Grandpa time is like, you know, you finish dinner and you look around, where's grandpa? He's passed out on the couch sleeping. You won't see him till tomorrow morning. So I did one of those last night. It was good though. It was good. The problem is when you do something like that, you know, you're up at fucking 5 o'clock. You know, you're up at 5 o'clock. Well, and Dara's even worse than I am. If she goes to bed like anytime before 11, because Dara's one of those, she only needs 5 hours, 6 hours. Anything over that, she gets overtired later in the day. So, but she went to bed early. So again, she was up at 5 o'clock. I was up at 5 o'clock. You know, we're sitting there at 5 o'clock. It's dark out. The dogs didn't even get out of bed with us this morning. Right. They just looked at us going, you two are idiots. And so Dara and I just literally sat there at the table this morning, looking across the table, each other, drinking our coffee, looking at our phones, going, okay, what do you want to do now, babe? You know, what do you want to do now? Go truck yourself. How the hell are you? He's a good card carrying member too of the channel. Appreciate that. Go truck yourself. Really do. We had a good Christmas. I said in my last live, I had a very, very good Christmas because it was very special to us. I disclosed that, you know, I no longer have 5 daughters. I have 6, and we broke it down. I broke it down to explain how I ended up with a 6th daughter. So all I'm going to say to you is be very careful when you send your DNA into like ancestry.com. More kids appeared. That's all I'm going to say to you. Go truck yourself. So, but in this case here, this had a happy ending. Sorry, I'm going to rephrase that. This had a good ending. It turned out really well. I now have a 6th daughter. She's 28 years old. I now have a 1-year-old grandbaby. Dara and I are thrilled about that. All of the other 5 girls, I would have thought, you know, the oldest one is 31. The youngest one is 21. We would have thought that somebody would have popped out a grandbaby by now, but nothing. So we've been waiting, and sure as shit. The new daughter, I'm going to call her the new daughter because I'm not going to use her name. All right. It's just so you guys understand. And I hope you can appreciate that. But the new daughter, right. The new love, she shows up and she's got a 1-year-old little granddaughter. So again, daughters, right. No boys, no sons, no grandsons. For the love of Christ. It's like, come on, like throw me a bone here. Throw me a bone. There's like no testosterone running around this house right now. I'm by myself. So the short answer is go truckers. We had a great Christmas. We did, man. I would not change it for the world. It was fantastic. So we had all but one of the kids home for Christmas, which has been eons since that's happened. We had the grandbaby home. We had one of my father-in-law was here. And of course, so all of the kids, and we had the spouses. So we had ourselves a real big house full of people, and it was great. It was great. Now, I said this before, and I'll say it again. With that many women in the freaking house, that was a lot of damn, but what the hell, you come outside, you smoke a cigar, you hang out, whatever, but it was good, man. It was good. Thanks for asking. Appreciate that. Looks like the beard is filling in. Yeah, dude, it's getting there. It's getting there. I think I should have it all out the way I'm not going to get into Snorlord territory. That's going to take me about another 8-9 months to get down to there. But I think I should be down. I should be down to roughly. I should have a nice Santa beard somewhere down around here. Let's say end of February, something good, something like that. Tolga, how the hell are you, man? It's always good to see Tolga. I see him everywhere. Dude, I almost think that you don't work over there. Tolga's over in Europe, and I almost swear to God that Tolga doesn't work. Because it doesn't matter time or day, because Tolga's 6 hours ahead of us. So I'm telling you right now, it doesn't matter time of day. If James goes live, Tolga's in there. Shannon goes live, Tolga's in there. Sterling goes live, Tolga's in there. I go live, he pops into here. Dude, do you ever go to work? You and James and some others, long before the other bullshit, have been great for advice and helpful truckers info for years. And I will again, and will be again when they get bored and go. You know what? I said something the other day, and it's like, you want to know something? If you want to stay off the fucking radar, keep your fucking mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. If you don't give them any ammunition, because anytime somebody says something or they do something or anything like that, or somebody will make a video or a rebuttal or whatever, and that's when feelings get hurt and shit gets done. 9 out of 10 times, because you opened your mouth and said something, and they're going to take that, put a spin on it, put it up on the world to see, and then next thing you know, you're pissed off and you're hurt. If you don't want somebody shooting bullets at you, don't give them the bullets. Simple as that. Keep your mouth shut. If you want to go live, I got no problem with anybody wanting to go live. But if you want to go live and trash talking is not your forte, and it's not your niche, and it's not the market that you're aiming for, and you want to go live, go do it. But stay within your stay on your own tracks, right? Stay within the realm of what you're able to do. Do I like trash talking? Hey, come on. God damn it. I love trash talking. There's a time and a place for it. YouTube for me is not the time and place to be trash talking. It's just not. No, Mr. Beast. Thank you. I apologize. Or I appreciate the fact that, yeah, you feel bad that I had to see his tits. It's one of those things, as well as I do. You can't unsee it. Once you've seen it, you just can't unsee it. So I just kind of fucking leave that alone, right? Sorry, this fucking, I've got one of, I need a beer coaster. Somebody got a beer coaster? I was going to bring out one of the computer chairs out of one of the offices, and it's got the wheels and shit, but I didn't feel like sweeping up the garage and shit like that. So I just grabbed one of the fold down ones, but now I got a crooked one. I'm not doing it because of you. LOL. Oh shit. You know what? I feel like an asshole here. Hold on. Post Trip's in here. Spectre's in here. Or he was in here. Dude, that was so fucking long ago. I saw you, and then somehow or another, squirrel. And so I didn't say hi to you. Sorry, man. My apologies. I wouldn't purposely diss you, Spectre. You know that. I do it behind your. I do it to your face. I'd never do it behind your back. Hey. Hell yeah, nothing wrong with that. Hell yeah, nothing wrong with growing the family. Well, I'm growing the family, but I didn't ask for it. You know what I mean? I didn't ask for it. I just woke up one morning, got an email going, "Hey, do you remember this girl 28 years ago?" Well, guess what? The DNA proves without a doubt that you're my dad. And you know what? It's been one of the greatest things that's ever happened to us. I'll be honest with you. It really has. It really has. You should rename yourself Grandpa Wheelburner. Curtis, you should rename yourself a few other things. What's going on, Shorts? How are you? Glad to see you back again. You were in what last week? You stopped in. How I grow a beard as fast as you. Damn it, boy. You know what? It's called fertilizer, and you stick your face. You lay your woman down. Never mind. You get the point, right? You get the point, right? Sorry, you know what? I'm smoking a cheap fucking cigar, and it just keeps going out. I got my really good one right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's a very, very nice cigar. It's a Rocky Patel. Again, Rocky Patel is my favorite cigar. This is an age limited. It's very rare. They're not the cheapest, but they're not the most expensive. But I'm actually just purposely trying to smoke this as fast as I can, just so I can like that. Saying hi to Curtis. Nice to see you live, Brian. Thank you, Mr. Misunderstood. I appreciate that. You know what? Like I said, I haven't put out any content lately. I really haven't. I haven't been in the right headspace, and I just haven't with what's been going. A lot of stuff that's going on in my life. I just haven't had the time to dedicate to it. I really haven't. So I think that come the new year, we're going to work out some things. We got some other things going as well. We've been busy. And unfortunately, YouTube just hasn't been at the top of my priority list. There's some other things I've had to take care of. YouTube is not the world. To some people it is. To me, it's not. This is a hobby. I don't make any money on this. It doesn't bring me, substantial income. Any money that the channel does generate, it pays for the StreamYard, and then we turn around and donate it anyway. So none of it goes into our pockets. So it's just a hobby. But you know what? I do enjoy doing it, and I have fun with it, and I haven't been doing it. So I will be, though. I will be. Come the new year, we're gonna kind of wind it back up again. Do some cool shit. We'll get back into doing the draws, and we're gonna do a couple of charity giveaways. We'll throw them out there and let you guys pick the charity, and we'll start doing that again. We'll see. We'll see. But for now, all I'm doing is like once a week, twice a week. I think I did one from New Jersey, down in Jersey this week. So we'll do the one on here, one on the weekend. That's all I need to do. Nick Earl, I see your comment down there. I'm not down there yet. I see your comment, but you're full of shit. Or Dar's full of shit. Or both you fuckers are full of shit. I'm happy that you had a nice Christmas. Thanks, Adrian. I appreciate that. It wasn't one of those Christmases that was great or good because, oh, wow, there was Christmas wrapping paper everywhere and there was presents and I got a bunch of cool shit. And it had nothing to do with that. I was more thrilled, to be honest with you. I was more thrilled with the fact that I had all of my kids home. Like I said, with the exception of one, I had all of my children home, and I got to spend time with each of my kids on an individual. I got to spend a little time with each one individually, as well as their spouses and whatnot like that. So that was kind of what really made this Christmas for me. And I believe it or not, I did all the cooking. I cooked Christmas dinner this year. Dar did participate. She helped a couple little things, but I said to Dar, I said, you know what? Take a break, babe. And I did it this year, and it turned out good. I roasted two well, they were 8 pounds a piece, bone-in hams, and did the slow roast in the oven with them. Damn, took them out of I tried when I went to go take them out of the pan to put them on the block. And you've got the bone sticking up at the top. I literally grabbed the bone and I went to go like this, and the fucking bone just came right out of it. It was like, damn, that's so good. And the glaze that I make is a homemade glaze of my own, and so it was fantastic, man. It was a really good meal, if I do say so myself. Tolga's awesome. Tolga is awesome. That guy is the shit, man. I don't care what anybody says about you, Tolga. You're the man. I'm good, sir. I'm going. It's going well, and I love all of you legends. Well, careful who you call a legend. Legend can be a couple of things, you know. But I appreciate your kind words. I know James. Well, James, fuck James thinks he's a legend. There's no talking him out of that. For fuck's sakes, we know that. Someone ever saying hi, trucker saying hi to Best. Tall guy. This your awesomeness, Best. Yeah, there you go. Right. Well, GW won't ever do that again. He's going to keep dealing with it. Hey, you know what? There's I'm not going to actually, you know what? I'm not saying fuck all on that. I knew you. Yeah, we know. Brian, stop lying. You loved it. What did I miss? I loved what? I love everything. Curtis, you know me. I'm just a happy-go-lucky guy that rolls through life. I don't give a damn. I don't care. I'm happy. I love everybody. I go through life spreading nothing but happiness and joy, and there's rainbows and sunshine flying out of my ass 24 hours a day. And if you believe that, I got some really good high-end real estate for you down in Illinois beside James's place. Oh, what the hell was that? Whatever happened to the Curtis cops with him and the elf's costume? That shit was funny. Dude, we can only take so much, right? I mean, we shot that video of Curtis on the lawnmower last year. That one there hurt me to do, right? Because I was commentating it and trying not to laugh at the same time. And what you guys don't know is I actually pissed my pants because I was laughing so hard and trying to do the commentary as Curtis was driving the fucking tractor around. I think James premiered that on his channel, and it was probably one of the best things I've ever seen on YouTube. I really wish it would have been on a bigger channel because it would have blown up like dynamite. Best chairs are old style armchairs to watch TV. I think I'm going to have one eventually because those so-called gaming chairs ain't it. You know what? I've got in my room upstairs, like just right behind that wall right there, is my room. It's not my bedroom, but it's my room. It's like my TV, my PS4. I've got these big, huge leather recliners that are just, you get in the thing and it almost, it's like a marshmallow. It wraps around you and it's great. And you're right. Everybody loves, if I was in it here right now, I'd literally just be like this. I'd be in mid-sentence and fall asleep. That's how comfortable they are. You know, excuse me. Tall guy spent $400 on my gaming chair. It messages, heats, and cools. Does it stroke? For $400, Nick, it better stroke too, man. Absolutely same specs. What I need. Apparently, the TV chair. Okay, you guys should keep talking about your fucking chairs. Righty ho, neighbor. What's going on, Freeway? They were just commenting, as you know, on the beard. I'm imagining yours has come back in as well. I think, Freeway, didn't we agree last week on a date? I didn't write it down. Freeway. I know. I think, what did we do? Was it the first week or second week of June or July? Whatever. Frickin' whatever. I can't remember, but I know we're going to do it again. I'll get together with again, we'll do what we did last time, right? We'll put up, I think we'll put up 3 or 4 charities for trucking related charities, and we'll do the shave the beard off or whatever, and we'll get Shannon Thomas to sit there on the sidelines and just pound, and we'll see how much money we can raise. So we'll lose the beard. I think it was the second week of July. I think we said. Nice to see you doing a lot better, smoking big cigars again. Thanks. Well, I had to lay off the cigars with the eyes because you can't suck. You can't smoke because you can't have any suction. You're going to take a draw. You can't do anything because it causes an inner vacuum on your eyeballs, on the back of your eyeballs. So we're all healed up and we're good. So I can do that now. This is a blessing and a sign of Brian's younger wild side. Spectre, if you need signs of my younger wild side, just watch me try to get out of bed in the morning and listen to the snap, crackle, and pop. Watch me when I'm, when you do 650 miles, you park your truck, you pull the brakes, you open the door, and you go to get out. And you again, you watch, a guy, that's only 54, but I look like I'm 109 getting out of the truck, So that's more that's more of what the reason. I am the result now of my younger, wilder side. I really am. It can happen to us all. Well, it's happened to me. Zippo. Was that Zippo cool? Yeah, it's not bad. I've had this one. I don't know how long I've had this. This one's old. As you can see, it's really, I don't know if you can see it in the light, but this one's really worn. It's got my initials, but they're almost burned, this was a gift from Dar many, 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 many years ago. I've got 3 Zippos. I keep one is always in my pocket, right? Like here. In that pocket, my right pocket at all times, there is a cigar cutter, as you can tell. This thing is very old, and well, not very, very old, but worn, and the Zippo. The 2 of these 2 sit in my right-hand pocket at all times. And if you ever meet me and see me in person and you look at my pocket right here, you got the guys that for years had the can of 2, like the Skoal cans, and they got that ring. I've got the Zippo right here on this pocket on most of my jeans. It never took this, obviously never took the shape of the cutter, but yeah. I've always been a Zippo guy. I've always been a Zippo guy. Although now that I'm smoking pipes, I've realized that you can light a pipe with a Zippo, but you will not get a good light with a Zippo. You actually do need, what I found so far, the best is just a cheap, really, really cheap Bic lighter. They are the best for lighting your pipe. They really are. Rig Pigs in the house. How the fuck are you, man? Nicholas Earl, kind of share the Nicholas. Listen to this, Nicholas. You guys got something going on the rest of us don't know about. Nicholas, kind of chair is that, if you don't mind my asking? Nice. Holy chimneys, Batman. You got it. Nicholas Earl, make it 800 actually because of extreme taxes in here. Yeah, Tolga, you guys are screwed with taxes. I don't know how you guys live over there. Everyone's saying hi to Spectre. The post trip. I would really, really like, and this is just me personally, and I think I'm probably speaking for some of the other older guys around. I would really like to see the post trip channel kind of make a resurgence. And I know that Spectre's busy. He's got a business to run. He does. He's got a business to run. He's got owner operators working for him. He's got company trucks. He's a busy fuck, and I get that. But there's a lot of knowledge and information and good advice wrapped up in that fucking guy's head that would probably benefit a lot of people, myself included. So I don't know about you guys or I know a lot of you in here are familiar with Spectre and his channel, The Post Trip, but some of you guys could probably throw a little pressure on him as well to maybe, it doesn't have to be a whole lot, but just a little here, a little there, throw something out. Just a little bit of something what's rattling between the two ears of the man. And like, throw it out there, Spectre. I'll watch it. You don't even have to show your boobs, and I'll still watch it. Harry. Nice. I'm looking at your last name, and I don't want to screw it up. Is it Heinrich? The S is silent. Is it? It's. I don't think it's Heinrichs, or maybe it is. Is it Heinrich or Heinrichs? Let me know. If you still have the video, throw it up again. It's on the channel. It's on the. I'd have to go through the shorts, but it's on the channel. I think we put it up as a short. James has it. James has it. You guys still talking about chairs? How much conversation can two people have about a frickin' chair? Are people leaving Canada? Unfortunately, Lonely, I'm not 100% sure about the general population if they're leaving Canada. I know I do know this. I know the state of Montana has opened some rules and regulations to make it easier to get into Montana and to if you're a Canadian and you want to move to Montana, they are going out of their way to drop some of the loopholes that you have to jump through to make yourself a citizen. But there's still problems. Are they leaving Canada? I can speak for myself personally. My two oldest daughters have left Canada. They went to Mexico, and now I'll be after talking over the holidays and everything like that. They're going to be going to Australia, and that's where they're both looking at probably making their forever homes, whatever you want to call it. Right? They're going to settle. It's going to be Australia, but they will never live in Canada again. Myself personally, yeah, I would. If the situation was right, I would leave Canada. I'd be honest with you, I'd be somewhere down in South America, would be my first choice, either Panama, maybe even Mexico. That would be a choice for me as a Canadian because it is so bad up here right now. Or I would possibly, I would have no problem. You see, being a northern boy, I got no problem. I could live in Montana. I could live in Wyoming. People don't like it there because the winters are a little hard, but you know, I'm good with that. I'd rather freeze than fry any day of the week. I'd rather be cold than hot. So that kind of shit I don't worry too much about. But do we have people leaving? I would imagine, yeah, we do. I know that if you go to Panama, there is a very big Canadian expat population down there right now. There really is. It's a big population and it's growing. I can't say that I know anything else about it because it's not something that's been on my radar. It would probably make an interesting video to find out, to find out the numbers, percentages, and shit like that. I'll be honest, I just haven't taken the time because I'm really not too worried about it. Curtis, I remember the ride, the lawnmower with Dar, with you, underwear. Yeah. Well, trust me, trucker, that hurt to watch. He was in a Speedo. Geez, that was painful. The best fertilizer ever, all natural, promotes fullness and healthy growth. You got it. You got it. For those of you that didn't catch that, but maybe maybe you should have. Oh, all right. RBG, how the hell are you? Hey, hands up. There you go, son. Hands up. We're doing well. Thanks for stopping in. Welcome, Rig Pig. I can't find my exact model. Oh, Jesus Christ. Nick, you guys knock it off with the chair. Holy crap. 650 miles, he says, at post trip. What? If you're doing better than 650 miles, good for you. I keep my mileage on the day. I aim for 600. I don't need that much, right? I'm about the money and the fuel efficiency, baby. I don't need to turn 600 miles a day. Mr. B's can't hang today. The boards are not going to spray paint or spray themselves. It's nice, and it's nice day. Y'all have a great day and be safe. Happy New Year's, everybody. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Mr. B. It's always a pleasure. We actually don't living. We're just surviving. You know what, Tolga? That's a very good way to put it. That's a really good way to put it. Nobody's actually living these days. They're actually just surviving, eh? Hold on. I'm going to turn it down a bit. I'm getting little bit of singe. Jeez. Grandfather used a propane torch to light his pipe. Propane torch. Yeah. Like, you mean like the blue, the ones we keep in our trucks? Like I've got one in my truck with a torch on it, something like that. That would work really well. That would work. I think though, like I was going to try a butane. I was going to use butane, but this is an old style, and that's actually wood. That's not like a ceramic. So I think they were saying that a butane torch would be too hot. You might actually, burn the actual pipe itself. So I'm not 100% sure I'm going to do that. Mr. Spectre, long time no see, sir. Jesus, Spectre, you got her fooled. She's calling you sir. Damn, son. Oh, hello, Shannon. Hello, dear. Oh my God, you guys are ridiculous. Whatever happened? Hey, what up, dude? Not too much, sister. Nobody talks like that anymore. Nobody talks like that anymore. I think I'm one of the last. I love the cold, hence why I live in Wyoming. The wind, however, is a whole nother story. Yeah. Rig Pig, I got you. We get cold here, and we do get wind here as well. So I could live better there than I would say down in Florida, or say like southern Texas, or like down on the Gulf or something like that. I couldn't live comfortably all year round down there. No, you go to Montana and Wyoming and that area there, you get nice summers, right? So I got no problem with that. So at least I get like, a couple of months of nice warm summer, and then you go through your winter. So I'm good with that. I put silicone along the top of my windshield. The joys of having a 16-year-old car. Well, Curtis, go buy yourself a new car. I just did 1,100 in a day. I'm not telling you how, but it was legal. Yeah. It was, eh? 1,100 legal. Now my brain's racing. See what you did? Thanks, Spectre. The old brains on starting to crack up. How did he do that? You probably had two logbooks. Two freaking logbooks. You signed in, you did one, you did your time in one, and then signed into another. Thing is how, certain people, if you're the owner of your own company, that means you've got access to the logs. And T-Bone, I'll cash app you $20 right now if you tell me how he did it. Yeah, it's 100% legal and verifiable. Okay, I'm not calling you a liar. I'm not saying you didn't do it, but you didn't do it like the rest of us. Let me tell you that. Okay, you didn't do it. No, you got in your truck that morning, you did your pre-trip, you put it in gear, you drove, you took your 30-minute, you drove out the rest of your day. There's a hitch here. I can guarantee you there's a hitch here. The only way I could do that would be to have it on Canadian hours, right? Because in Canada, I can drive for 13 hours a day. And if I average, say, 75 mile an hour, even then, I don't think it would make 1,100 miles, but still. I'll either figure it out or somebody will spill the beans. The poster, it's obvious this is a legal way because we always hear rounded numbers in illegal activities like 1K, 2K. Yeah, of course. So 1,100 makes it 100% honest. No, I enjoyed the car. Very minimal electronics, easy to work on. Yeah, well, that's why you think that. Why do you think a lot of us like the old trucks, Curtis? Same thing, right? Same thing. We love the old trucks because you know what? There's not 7,000 miles of sensors in the goddamn thing. Sensors. Fuck, try saying that with no teeth, man. That's a bitch. Sensors. Rest Air Raccoon. What up, Santa? You done delivering presents? Yeah, I'm tired, man. That was a long one. That was a long one. I'll be honest with you. I'd make a terrible Santa Claus if Santa was real and they came to me and said, okay, we need you to be Santa for one night and you go around, deliver all the presents. I'd probably, by the time I got, I'd be over Quebec and I'd be going into all those French women's houses. I'd never come out. I'd be spreading my Christmas cheer all over the goddamn place. It wouldn't turn out good. Let me tell you that. All I can say is time travel does exist. There is a hitch. I'm telling you, Nick, there has to be a hitch. Okay. Here is a hint. All right, Spectre, lay it on us. I ain't saying shit. Spectre just hijacked the live. Attaboy. Got to drink my coffee. Oh. he actually put his cash app up. Well, sorry, you caught me, bro. You did. You caught me because I'm a Canadian, man. We don't have cash apps. We don't have them. We should, but we're not allowed to have them. I guess the Canadian government doesn't trust the fact that I won't smuggle all of my assets through a cash app down to you. That's what I thought, Freeway. But he said it was legal and he did it on one book, so you can't. Damn it, I spelled it wrong. Well, it doesn't matter. I wasn't sending you jack shit anyway. I'll tell you for $5 less. Nick, okay, here, give me this. You guys throw me a bone here. Give me this. Nick, do you use the same method? And T-Bone, do you use the same method? I know that you guys both work for Spectre, or work with Spectre. So do you guys use this method as well to run these miles? You start your day at midnight, drive until 10 or 11, rest for 8 hours. It's now 6 p.m., then drive for 6 hours. It's midnight all over again. Yeah. Curtis, yeah, I guess. I'm sitting there thinking about that, but that's a lot of awake, asleep at inopportune times. You're going to run yourself into the dirt if you run your book like that. Now, don't get me wrong. I can run 1,100 miles. I've run 1,100 when I'd say back in the day, but whatever. Back in the day when we were running paper logbooks, you could, it wasn't legal, but you could easily do 11, 1,200 miles in a day. I've done it. I know you can do it. If somebody said, "Oh, I can do it," I'd go, "Yeah, I know you can do it because I've done it." Right? 1,200 miles is something that back in the day we used to do often, right? But with the e-log, there's got to be a loophole, or there's got to be a hitch to it. It's not just Dirty Diesel. How the hell are you? Good to see you, man. Thanks for popping in. Afternoon. Yeah, it's not my usual forte to do these afternoons, but like I said, I was sitting around. Believe it or not, one of the kids is still in bed, and the other one's just up and around. So Dar's out doing a job, so she's not gonna be around for a while. And you know what? I've watched being off with my eyes. I was off for so goddamn long. There's really nothing on Netflix I want to watch. Prime's got nothing. Any of the movie channels or anything, there's nothing on there really that I want to watch or I haven't seen. So it's like, all right, let's do this. I'll hang out here. You guys can throw some shit around. Hint, everyone with a reefer can do it. Jesus, it's been a long time since I pulled a reefer. Curtis, stick to the lawnmower. Jesus, James, I love you, man. You're awesome. I did 1280 last Wednesday. Nope, not FEMA. All right, you guys can knock this shit off. I really don't fucking care. I drive shift, 1 tank of fuel, 30-minute break to potty. 1 drive shift, 1 tank of fuel, 1 30-minute break to potty. So this is a test of knowledge. I'll give you that, Spectre. I'll give you that this is a test of knowledge. Only for somebody that would apply to it. It doesn't apply to me. I haven't pulled a reefer in Jesus, I don't know how long. Probably 15 years. It's more than that. Because I pulled flats for the last 16 years, then got off the flats last year. Yeah, last year or the year before. So it's been a long time since I've pulled a reefer. So I can't say that I'm up to date on any kind of rules or anything like that for that. But I saw the next comment under this one. looks like Curtis has thrown down the gauntlet to Spectre. Anybody here want to lay odds on who wins this one? I can outdrive you on his lawnmower, Spectre. Anybody? I guarantee goddamn to you, this is not going to end well for you, Curdy. I've seen Spectre drive. I bet you can't, Tolga. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, sir. How the hell are you? Dollars per day, not miles. You got it, my man. You got it. You got it. In layman's terms, break it down to the simplest form. Get your fixed costs low, get your variable costs under control. You add those up, you come up with a number, and that is your number for the day. You have to make that number. If you make that number, you've covered all of your costs, all of your expenses, including your salary. So anything above that number is profit. It is by the day. Profit on the day, money on the day, dollars per day, like Ozer says, not miles. 100% agree. And I will say this, and every one of you that doesn't agree with me, you can come on into the comments and argue with me, because I'll argue with you all day long. If you are not at this moment, if you own a trucking company, or even if you own just 1 truck or 2 trucks, if you are not breaking your business down to a dollar per day setup and running your operation on that model, you are gonna suffer. By this time next year, your business model is gonna be obsolete. The only exception to that is if you are running 100% contract freight, and either you own a piece of the contract that you're pulling for, or a piece of the contract at the other end you're delivering to. That is the probably only exception to that, whereas you may not have to worry about it so much. But otherwise, he left out 2 packs of toothpicks. You're talking about Spectre, right? Not for us, Oser. I meant Curtis. Yeah, we know what you meant. Don't worry about it. Gun Term 2009. Hey, Wheelburner, Mrs. Dar, and everyone else. Well, Gun Term, Mrs. Dar's, she's out on a job right now. Hence that I'm live and being disrespectful, rude, and nasty to everybody. Did you stutter? I think he stuttered, right? He said it up here, and then he said it again here. That's okay. We're all good. I'm a company driver. I swipe the card and drive. Yeah, well, Nick, I wasn't talking directly about you, right? You're paid by the mile, and so you should be. That's you're a company driver. But I'm talking about guys like me. I'm talking about guys like Jeff Like, and I'm talking about maybe even Spectre if he knows what I'm talking about, or if he's done any investigating as to what I'm talking about. I'd like to think at this point that although Spectre and I aren't the best of friends or anything like that, but we do know each other and we do have a somewhat of a relationship, that if I'm saying something to Spectre, that he would probably at least look at it and go, he's got enough respect for me and the knowledge that I have doing this, that he would probably go, okay, what are your thoughts, Brian? How does this work? He will examine it, look at it, and if it works for him and he wants to do it, then fine. If he doesn't, that's fine too. But as a company driver, yeah, it's all about the miles. Hell yeah, dude. I'm an owner operator. I'm a mileage paid driver. Got my price on the clutch and the clutch brake and the clutch axle at $34.50 for parts. What are they looking at for time to put that in? There's Dar. Hey, in the bathroom currently, but have a break in 30 minutes. There you go, boys and girls. Hello, everyone. Okay, everybody say hi to Dar. Everybody say hi to Dar. What's going on, Stu? What's happening, all? What? No, that can't be Stu, because it's usually what's happening, fella. This is a troll. It's not really Stu. There you go. Ruling 119. I'm not looking that up. I'm not doing it now. I will look it up though, because now obviously I'm curious. I won't be pulling a reefer probably within the next 6 months. I might be pulling one possibly later into the first half of next year. I could possibly be pulling one. Oh, Shannon saying hi to Dar. People saying hi to Stu. Nick Earl. Me, you, and Spectre have a good texting relationship. Well, you know what? That's just fine with me. I don't have to sit on somebody's lap, and nobody has to sit on my lap, but all I'm going to say is this, and you can agree with me or you don't have to agree with me. There's not a single person out here as an owner operator or a company driver or a company owner. There's not a single one of us out here that has it all figured out. Not one. I don't. Spectre don't. DIY don't. Like Truck, Jeff Like doesn't. Listen to me, don't. Nobody has it all figured out. All they've done is they've taken the best pieces of what they've found from other people, smart people, and patched it together and made themselves their own system of how they think is the best way to operate. Are some better than others? Yeah, but nobody's got it figured out. I don't care who you are. Nobody's got this trucking business figured out. Oh, sorry. There you go. Same number. I'll send it to you. It's a test of knowledge. Okay. Text it to me. I'll get a hold of you next few days. I'm not paying any of you guys for any of this information. Now that I know it's 119, I can look that up myself. Nope, that's why everyone is different. No, you're right, Nick. You're right. It doesn't matter who you work for. It doesn't matter. Everybody's going to have their own. You may see similarities between this guy's doing his business this way and some guys are doing this business this way, and there's a couple similarities back and forth, but nobody does everything the same way. And like I said, nobody's got it all figured out. Nobody, not a single bloody person, myself included. And if anybody's got the balls to sit here on YouTube and say, "Oh, I know everything and I know what I'm doing," and I call bullshit on that. I really, truly do. I ask too many questions and overthink things too much to have it figured out. You know what, T-Bone, there's nothing wrong with asking questions. Don't get me wrong. Like if you knew the people that I call my mentors, like these are guys that are my age or even older than me that have been doing this longer, that have been owner operators or company owners longer than me. These are the guys that I ask questions to. And there's been times where I've sat there and say, for example, I'll ask Bruce, I'll ask him a question. In the back of my head, I'm going, well, this is a stupid fucking question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Turns out it wasn't a stupid question. It was quite relevant. So I ask a lot of questions. I am not afraid to ask questions. I've asked Spectre questions. I asked SoCal questions. I've asked DIY questions. I've asked Jeff Like. I've asked Snorlord. I've asked, if you've got something, if you're doing something and you've got something that I want, I will ask you the question. I have no shame in admitting I don't know. Right? And if you do know and it works, God damn it, I want to know. It's not going to hurt my business to be more knowledgeable about the business. Did that make sense? It's not my, fuck it, forget it. Yeah, okay, you do that. Just text it to me. I don't ask any questions. Well, trust me, Nick. I just drive, baby. Trust me, Nick. If it was your name on the ownership of that truck and there were your wheels, it was your fuel, it was your insurance, it was your DOT inspections, it was your, if it was yours, you'd be asking questions, brother. You'd be a fool not to. I promise you'd be a fool not to. The knowledge that I've gotten between you and Spectre wants me to stay company forever. Some people are just built like that. You know what? I'm dealing with a guy right now that has been, he was a company driver for 3 or 4 years. He became an owner operator and he just wasn't built for it. Right. He just, some people just aren't meant to do this as owner operators. And he was not successful and he got out and he became a company driver. And then it just turned out that it's not just being ownership wasn't for him, just the trucking industry, being a truck driver wasn't his forte. And now he's wanting to come back in as an owner operator. And there's a couple of us that are trying to very gently say to him, like, find something else to do. Like this is not your forte. This is not, you're not going to be successful. It doesn't matter how many books you read or how many miles you drive. The fact that you keep making the same mistakes over and over again, but expecting a different result says something about the person and the mentality of doing business. And that's, it's time to go. He's got a backup career. He's got another career that he could go into and probably do quite well at. So we've been kind of encouraging him. Not at all. That's why I live in a book and upset people because of my need for knowledge and nerdom. I could skip the nerdom, but I have a huge thirst for knowledge of the world about me, the world around me, and I have a huge thirst for knowledge for this business. I'm living example. I'm a living example. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing this. It doesn't matter whether it's been 20 years, 25, 30, 35, 40 years, you still got shit to learn. I promise you do. It doesn't make you a nerd, even though, Spectre, you are a nerd. Okay, that's all good. But I'm disassociating myself from the nerdum part. Okay, you can hold the nerd. It's impossible to know everything. The industry is constantly evolving and requires you to be fluid and change. Stuart couldn't have said that better myself. Very well said. And the funny thing is, you go back, say, 15, 16, even 20 years, the business was changing, but it didn't change as fast, right? It didn't change as quickly. You could run along in the same model with the same way and do your business the same way for sometimes 3, 4, 5 years, and you'd be fine. And then, the industry would shift, stuff would happen, and you'd have to shuck and jive and adjust your business, right? Be ready. We call it, you got to pivot, right? Nowadays, it's almost yearly. And in some cases, it's twice a year, depending on what industry or what part of trucking you're in. It's just, and you're right, it's impossible to know everything. And if you don't change your fluids, you'll be stuck, Stuart. Well, what you do with your fluids is entirely up to you, bro. I'm a nerd fan. Shannon, good for you. I'm a nerd fan. Well, I'm not a nerd. Hopefully you stick around. I treat it like my own. Well, those are the types of guys, Nick, that when I had my own, we had other trucks were running running for us as well. Those are the types of guys that we wanted in our trucks. And believe me, a lot of the times you don't get it. You don't get it. They don't give a damn about fuel mileage. They don't give a damn about the inside of the truck. They don't give a damn about, they ding a bumper or something. They don't say nothing. That guys like you are they're not everyday guys. They really are. I've always been a company driver. Hey, freeway, if it works for you, here's the other thing. Your happiness has got to be the first thing. So if you're happy and you're making money, you're able to support yourself, your family, whatnot, then keep doing what you're doing. Carry on. If you've got a thirst for something else, a bigger adventure, you want to try something, you need a challenge, those are the reasons why a lot of guys want to take an owner operator. Don't kid yourself. People do I want to be an owner operator. Why? Well, I don't want to answer to anybody is usually the first answer. I want to go where I want to go, do what I want to do. I don't want to answer to anybody. That's bullshit. If you're becoming an owner operator and those are your reasons, don't do it, please. You're going to fail. You're going to fail. I became an owner operator because A, the opportunity was presented to me at the right time, and B, I had been a company driver and now I wanted I wanted another challenge. I needed another challenge to go farther. Do I like the money? I knew that as an owner operator, I was going to make more money, obviously. But did I do it because, God damn it, I'm not going to answer to anybody and I'm going to do what I want and I don't, blah, blah. No, absolutely not. And again, if that's what you're doing, if you're making the jump to be an owner operator just for those reasons, don't. I like a challenge. You ask anybody that knows me. Okay. I am the epitome of here, hold my beer. Don't tell me it can't be done. Don't tell me I can't do something ever. Because here, hold my beer. I may not get it right the first time, but God damn it, I'll get it. Don't tell me I can't do it. The trucking business is one of those things. And it's not that somebody said I couldn't do it. It was just that I saw the next step, right? The next logical step was as a company driver was to go to owner operator, right? The next step after that was to have multiple trucks. The next step after that is to have your own authority. The next step after, you go progress up the line. So, but I want the challenge. I want the challenge, and I like. Don't get me wrong. I like the money. I make more money as an owner operator than I did or as a company driver. I'm a big frickin' dork, Shannon. Me and Spectre need out what the hell? Nerd out a lot. Okay, I got you, Nick. You're good. I accept it proudly. Well, you know what, Spectre, we all accept you proudly too, or we all proudly accept you. How's that? Okay. We all proudly accept you and your nerdum. I'm not going to say I'm quite gushing over you like Shannon is, but hey, please don't get us talking NFL hours of conversation. I'm not talking NFL. I don't watch football. Sorry. I don't know if that's a bad thing being that most of you are American. I don't watch football. I don't watch Canadian football either. I don't watch NFL. I couldn't tell you who won the last Super Bowl or the one before that. I couldn't tell you who's in the Super Bowl this year or next year. Fuck, I don't know. Don't care. It's just not a sport that I follow. Go truck yourself. He said 8 hours. Good morning from a dirty casino in Reno, Nevada. Whoa, Sterling. Now you're talking my language, baby. Now you're talking my language. Now we're getting dirty, right? Sterling's hanging out in a dumpster in Reno. A dumpster casino in Reno. Attaboy. I hate when they do this. They raffle like that, and then you got to rip the wrap. You got to take the wrapping off. It's almost like it's like precise surgery. You got to because the last thing you want to do is tear. Here we go. That outer wrapping. There we go. That's a lot of that, the outside, like the wrap on these, is a lot of your flavor as well. It's not just the innards, right, on a cigar. It's the whole picture. So if you screw up your outer wrap, you'd be in a world of hurt, boys and girls. Everyone's saying hi to Mr. Red. There you go, Shannon. Mr. Red, ladies in the house. I love, you know what, Sterling's one of those as well. I love him when he goes live because I can kill miles while talking. It's really good. It really is a good way to kill miles, right? Listening to him while he's live. But more than that, I just love talking to him on the phone. Like I was on the phone with him the other morning. I was going into Ottawa. I hate going into Ottawa. It's one of those cities that's just not trucker friendly. It's not truck friendly. And you know what? You sit there and you talk to Sterling and you laugh and you joke and you're not even necessarily talking. You're not even talking about trucking. You're just talking about life in general. Next thing you know, you've burned off a couple of miles. I'm already halfway through the city. Didn't even realize it. I didn't even realize what the hell was going on until I rolled up to the customer and it's like, hey, I got to let you go. I got to make my delivery here. So just let you know, Sterling, I appreciate you, buddy. I appreciate you. I like what you do out here. I like what you say. I like the way you think. Don't always agree with you, and that's okay. I'm sure not everybody absolutely agrees with me all the time. And that's fine too. Just as long as you remember I'm right and you're wrong, I really don't care. I've screwed up a few times and called Spectre myself as soon as I did. Best dude I ever worked for by far. And those are the types, like I said, Nick, those are the types of guys that, as a guy that want, I've had multiple trucks. Those are the guys you want driving your trucks. You really do. You don't want some, you don't want some guy the next time you see him, he comes rolling through the yard and half your bumper's hanging off. It's got one flat tire, the brake, it's got air leaks all over the place. As an owner, I'm prepared to take care of that stuff, but you have to maintain it so, it doesn't happen. And if it does happen, you tell me about it. Let's get it fixed, DIY, good afternoon. How the hell are you? I'm glad you are here. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Your name's come up a couple times here today, just in passing. All good. All good. No, nobody's got anything bad to say about you. But it's you're another one of those guys like Spectre. It's if you listen to Adam and DIY and you listen to him, and it's usually Cash is usually when DIY is live, Cash is usually floating around at the same time. So's Fate. A lot of those guys, they work around and they work with DIY and why are they successful? Look who they surround themselves with, right? You look at Spectre. Why are the people that work with Spectre successful? Look who they surround themselves with. Same with Jeff Like. Same with a lot of guys. You surround yourself with good people, or the best people that you can possibly find. You've just upped your chance of success, and that's all you're doing is you're upping your chance of success. DIY is one of those guys that I don't usually say a whole lot when he's live, but I will sit there and listen for the hour and a half or whatever that he's live, because somewhere on the live, whether it comes out of his mouth or out of one of his guests' mouth or something like that, eventually a nugget of information, a good little nugget of information is going to pop out and you're going to go, wait a minute, I can use that. I've done that a dozen times with Spectre. I've done it a dozen times with Like. I've done it a dozen times with DIY. I've done it with SoCal. I've done it with, and I do that with the people that I do everyday business with. I really do. Curtis 2.0. Oi, oi. Yeah. I don't know why he does that. Nick Earl and Tolga again. Baja uploading a video. Oh, okay. That's what it is. Are you doing your You uploading your lawnmower video? Karen's in the house. Hi, Brian and Dar. Well, sorry, Karen. Unfortunately, today it's just me. Dar's on a job right now. She said she'll get a break in about 30 minutes, so she might pop back in. That'd be kind of cool. Good to see you. Thanks, Karen. Hope you and Al are well. Hope you guys had a good Christmas. Hope it worked out for you guys. TJ Bull of the Woods. There's my boy. How the hell are you, TJ? Good seeing you. Good talking to you. Enjoy talking to you in Zello there. It's kind of cool to be able to do that. I've never been a big fan of the Zello channels. But you know what? Hey, I kind of got caught up a little bit in that big room they call it over there. But you know, hey, and it's always good to see you in there. I love what you got to say. Well, the CFL sucks. Well, the CFL, I don't know if it does or doesn't. It does suck. Woo! There's Zach. How the hell are you, Zach? Good to see you, man. Hi, Brian. How are you on this fine Saturday afternoon? Guess I'll be starting at CAT on Tuesday or Wednesday this coming week. They wanted to wait till the new quarter starts for the books. There you go, boy. There you go. Good for you, man. Good for you. Good luck with that. It's a new endeavor. It's a new start for you. Hopefully it works out for you. As I said last week when we were talking about this kind of thing, just, you know what? Remember, this is the trucking business. Zach, it doesn't owe us anything. This business owes me nothing, right? It's up to me to amalgamate myself into the business and do the job. It's not up to the business or the company to amalgamate themselves and do things for me. So if you can remember that, your chances of success as a company driver are going to be much higher. TJ saying hi to Nicolas. Sterling, wait until you see my members only video today. I'm not watching that shit. Forget it. You want me to watch? I'm already paying to be your member. If you want me to watch the freaking video, Sterling, you can throw some money at me. I'm not watching your videos for free. Forget it. I have way too many more important things to do today, like well, I'll think of something. I don't know what it is yet, but I will think of something. TJ saying, I had a Tolga DIY. I don't care what Brian says about you. You're all right. Easy there, Nick. Easy there. I think DIY knows that I've never in my life ever uttered a bad word about him, only because I don't have any. I've never said I don't have anything bad to say about him. I have a lot of respect for him. I think my ideal roundtable. You want to know what? If I would love to hook this up one time. I would very, very much love to like block off, say, a 90-minute block of time, just a 90-minute block of time, or say a 2-hour block of time. And this is just for me personally. I don't care what you guys want for something like this, but I would like to have a round table, and I would like to have Spectre, Adam, DIY, Jeff Like, Snorlord, but with Snorlord you'd have to put a little egg timer beside him for his responses, because you can ask a 2-second question, he'll give you a 15-minute answer. So Snorlord would have to cram it down, so when the egg timer goes off, he's done. And I would like to have all of that on one channel. And there's probably 2 guys up here that are not YouTube related. Both of them are. One of them is a retired company owner that doesn't own the company. He sold his company, but he's still very knowledgeable, very active. And another one is another company owner. I would like to have, say, 4 or 5 and have a really, really good roundtable. And I just want to moderate it, right? I would put together a list of topics or ideas or maybe subjects of what we were going to, where I want the conversation to go, and let each of these guys speak their mind with their experience on those specific topics. And of course, it would all be trucking related. So that would be something that I would really love to do. I really would love to do. Tolga at Wheelburner Express. 100%. Thank you, sir. you become like the 5 people you hang out with the most. Well, GW, in that case there, I hang out with myself the most. But I think you're right. You do pick up the characteristics, or you pick up certain let's use a computer term, algorithms of there. If you've got 4 or 5 really good people around you, you pick up their algorithms and how they operate and how they work, and then that's what you do. That's what you will start applying yourself. And sometimes you do it, you don't even know you're doing it. 49 degrees outside, my ass is burr. 49 degrees. What's that in Celsius, dude? Right, right here, it's -2 where I'm at right now. So -2 Celsius. So that's what Fahrenheit is 32 is freezing. So it's probably like, I don't know, 28 or whatever the conversion is. I don't know. Finally getting some flurries here. Yeah, well, like I said last week, I was standing on the front porch with my father-in-law. We were looking at the front lawn. We were contemplating going to jumping on the John Deere and mowing the lawn, for Christ's sake. It's getting a little ridiculous. I've never missed a Sterling wheel video. Never seen one either, so I've never missed one. I love that, Nick. That's awesome. Brian, I always appreciate your opinions and always listen to my mentors, and I respect you always. Tell me because you've been around the block a while. And I'm still going around the block, Zach. I may have been around the block, but believe me, I'm still going around the block. I don't have all of the answers. I do like to say this, though. I've been doing this long enough. And once you've been doing this long enough, I've been doing this long enough. And I will say, honestly, that I don't have all of the answers. I truly don't. But chances are, if you ask me a question or something I don't know the answer to, I probably know somebody that does. And that's why it's really good in this business to surround yourself with good, smart people, smarter than you. Because if you come up to a situation or you come up to a problem with your business or something like that, and you don't have the answer, it's really nice to be able to just pick up the phone and make a phone call. And within talking to maybe 2 or 3 other people, you do get the answer. So I may not have all the answers, but chances are I do know somebody that does or would know the answer to that question. Mr. B's, it's -20 here in Alaska. My nads are in my gut trying to stay warm today. Jesus. You know what, GW, though, brother, you asked for it, dude. Nobody tied a rope around your nuts and dragged you up there kicking and screaming. I know for a fact because I was on the phone with you while you were driving across country doing it. So you were quite happy while you were on the phone going across. So, gee, you -20. What did you think you were going to find in Alaska? White sand beaches and bikinis? Nah. Yeah, Dar's a hot person. She likes it hot. I'd rather be a little chilly. I'd rather freeze than fry. Dar's the other way. She likes to be warm. Except the only time I like to be warm, and Dar and I argue about this all the time, is when I'm in the house, right? I want the house to be at a comfortable temperature. I don't want to feel that I have to go put a sweater on or put on long pants. Because if you're in the house and you're in your chair watching TV, you throw on a pair of shorts and a t-shirt or whatever. I don't want to have to put on layers of clothing while sitting in my house. And Dar and I always argue about that because I want the house at a certain temperature for comfort, and her comfort level is different than mine. So that's a never ending battle. That is. I don't rarely win. Or I rarely win that argument, but I'd like to think I put up a good fight most of the time. GW Bulls that looked good from the window, stepped outside, and nope, not today. You gave it the old college try there, Mr. B's. You gave it the old college try. If you were to have that roundtable, I would suggest Mike Jones, retired company owner. He runs the biggest FedEx ground contractor in the Southeast before he sold and retired. TJ, I would like to. I can certainly respect that, but I would like to do it with people that I know. Right? I would like to have a comfort level with the people that I know. But somebody like him would obviously be, if he's the largest, he runs the biggest FedEx ground. He's probably got a head full of really good knowledge that you'd want to pick through. I got no problem with that. But if I was able to, if by chance I was ever able to arrange that roundtable and all parties agreed to something like that, I would like it to be with people that I know. Maybe I don't know them. Like, I can't say that I know DIY, right? DIY doesn't know me. He knows who I am, but he doesn't know me, and I don't know I know who he is, but I don't know him personally. Same with Jeff Like or Spectre or any of these guys. But at least I'd like a level of familiarity. I'm not even going to try that word. Familiarity. Whatever. You know where I'm going. You know the word I'm trying to get. So it's 9 Celsius. It doesn't matter. It's cold. Record snow here in Alaska, and people are telling me it's the warmest year so far. Well, like I said, bro, like you signed up. I had all the answers once, but then they changed all the questions. That's Mr. B's. That's every second Wednesday around here, dude. Every second Wednesday. Just when you think you've got it, gone. Vanished. Gone. History. Out of here. Logic Neo. Another one that I've seen around lately. See you everywhere. You don't usually come in here, but thanks for popping in. There's nothing exciting going on, let me tell you that. We have the mildest December in God knows how long. Oh, same here, TJ. TJ, same here. It's been ridiculous here, right? We're now, the end of December, and it's ridiculous. Like last year for Christmas, we got snowed in. We couldn't leave the house on Christmas because for Christmas Eve every year, we go to pick we go to Dara's mom and dad's house for Christmas Eve, and we celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve, and then we're usually home for Christmas Day. But last year we got snowed in. We left the house. We made it, I don't know, 25 miles up the highway. We had to turn around and come back. It was so bad. So this year now, like I said, I'm looking out the window right now in my garage, and there's some flurries going on, but still, if you go look at my front lawn, it's green grass. It's ridiculous, Video will be live at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Okay, Clips. Don't forget to pick me up, Wheel Burner. Who are you? I don't know who you are. I don't talk to strange women. My wife gets mad at me when I do that. So same here, TJ. Yeah, it's been mild up here. Guess I'll just chill with y'all and do the artwork on the boards because clear coating is out. Sounds like it's a 420 either way. Hey, get into her, son. Get into her. 420. If that's your forte, have at it. Did I hear about the truck crash over in Germany? Zach, I did not hear about the truck crash or a truck crash over in Germany, but I don't know really why I would, considering that, where we live in Southern Ontario down here, there's a major truck crash, twice a week? 5 people die, 10 cars get wiped out, airlifted, blah, blah, blah. It happens so regularly here, I probably wouldn't hear about it. But if it was bad, it's unfortunate. A truck crash anywhere is bad. That's the thing about truck crashes, right? If 2 cars get into it, okay, there might be a fatality, but chances are the 2 cars are wrecked and a couple people get hurt, maybe 1 person dies. When you're sitting there with a truck wreck, right? When trucks start backing up into each other and start, twisting and you're turning, when you're racking up tonnage, and that's when more people get hurt, more serious injuries occur with truck accidents. And I don't know about you guys, man, but doing what I do for a living and what you guys do for a living, it's everywhere, right? It's everywhere. It's not getting any better out there. I'm telling you. It was on the news last night. 5 injured after truck crashes into pedestrians. Yeah, that's Brampton. That's Brampton here. That's Brampton every Monday morning between 9 and 11. Go to Brampton, Zach. You Christ, man, you know that. Dar, what time do I got to pick you up at? Like, I'm not running. I'm looking at the time here. I'm going, no, you're not done yet. There was a truck crash in Pickering on the 401 a couple of months ago, but they just released the dash cam footage. B-train tanker getting across 3 lanes and hits the medium, flipped over and exploded. That's nuts. That is crazy. That is crazy. Want to do a board with a Canada flag and America flag with a truck all done up on it, still in the design phase. Mr. Bees, I would really be interested in something like that. I would really be interested in something like that. That would be something that would be really cool. If you, when you get past, when you get most of the design phase done on that, and you've got what you think you want, do me a favor. Send me a shot of it. Send me a picture of it. I'd really like to see that. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool. Dara says crazy. I think she's saying crazy because of Curtis's comment about the 401. Sorry, I got to enjoy this. You guys just talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Just give me a second here. This is one of those that when you inhale like that, it's like, oh, damn, that's good. See the draft in this garage? Damn, that's good. Damn, that's good. Okay, let's get back. Sorry. I know Brampton all too well, and that was just my thoughts as people are just reckless these days. Zach, I agree with you. Two things come to mind when I hear something like that. Excuse me. Two things come to mind. First thing is people are in such a goddamn hurry these days. They are. People are in such a hurry. Whether they're driving 4-wheelers, 2-wheelers, trucks, whatever. Everybody's in such a damn hurry. Very few people today, unless they're sitting in their backyard around a campfire, know how to just relax and smell the roses and enjoy themselves. Very few people, believe it or not. They just don't know how to do it. Society today has told us or taught us that you always got to be at the head of the line. You got to be first. It's go, 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 go. And that's not true. That is not true. Sorry, it's not true. So in saying that, people always are in such a damn hurry. Now, if you want to just put a little twist on that, truck drivers are in such a damn hurry. Truck drivers are racking up, record amounts of accidents. In the last probably 3 to 5 years? 3 to 5. I think I'm safe, 3 to 5 years. The accident rates have been going through. I know on the 401 corridor I'll even go right from the Quebec line and like in Quebec, all the way down to Windsor, that whole stretch. I know for a fact that they've multiplied by 3. Like they're 3 times worse now than they were 3 to 5 years ago. That's how bad the tonnage is being racked up. And it's because truck drivers now are in such a hurry. But the question I ask you guys is, why? Why are truck drivers in such a hurry these days? Why? My boss keeps telling me I drive slow. Oh, well, how many accidents have you had? How many speeding tickets have you had? How many violations have you had? If the answer is 0, Your boss should be thanking you for doing the job you're doing. Thank you very much. Plays on the freeway. I appreciate you taking care of my equipment and respecting the law and keeping everybody safe. But the answer to the question I asked you of why are truck drivers in such a hurry these days? And I'm guilty of this myself. I'm not saying that it's other people. I've been guilty myself. I was guilty of it, at one point this week. Why? Because we now have an e-log. We now have an e-log. Basically, you wake up in the morning and you've got a clock sitting there that you're looking at. And when you start that clock, there's no shutting it off. There's no turning that clock off. So all day long, you are racing a clock. When I didn't have an e-log, TJ, you're right, ELD is right. When I didn't have an e-log, I was much more productive. I was much more relaxed. I was better rested. I got better sleeps in my truck, right? What I have found, and this is just me personally, I have found that now that I've got an e-log, I am racing a clock, which I've now trained myself to not do. Okay. If the work gets done, the work gets done. If it doesn't get done and I run out of time, sorry, can't help you out. I'm not spending extra fuel to get a load somewhere. And in doing so, speeding. And if I'm speeding, that means I'm being a little bit reckless or careless. If it's not necessary to do, I'm not doing it just because of a fucking clock ticking down. Right. And like I said, I've been guilty of it. We are now forced to, you go to sleep when it says, when the thing goes ding, you're done, you're done. When it says ding, you go. But sometimes it'll shut you down and force you to shut down when you're not tired. But then you're going to get up in the morning, it's going to go ding, you're ready to go, and you're still tired. These are things that I've experienced now that we've had an e-log. When I was on paper, right? Rig Pig ELO. What, you telling me the Electric Light Orchestra is the reason? No, I got you, man. I'm just messing with you. I think personally, and this is just me, I think the ELD is backfired. It is backfired. You've got drivers out there now that are racing a clock, that are tired, they're cranky, they're irritable, they're getting reckless, they're careless. And it's because at any given time, and there's no give or take, with a paper logbook. If say, for example, I started my book at 7 o'clock that morning, if come 11 o'clock noon, if I needed to stop to take my 30-minute break and I jumped in the bunk and had a quick nap and I extended that to 40 minutes, I didn't have to worry about that 10 minutes. I'm a responsible adult. I can make up that 10 minutes somewhere else down the road. I don't have to have everything logged right down to the second. I'm an adult. You have to treat me like an adult. And what they're doing is they're saying, okay, truck drivers are nothing but a bunch of overgrown fucking children. And maybe to a degree, they may have a point with some of them, but you know what? They overregulate and dominate the market with the e-log, and all they're doing is making irritable, discontent, miserable people do a job for less than minimum wage, right? And nowadays, and I'll use the convoy as an example. What the government in Canada did, now we're looked at as nothing but dirt on the bottom of your shoe. TJ, you must remember, years and years and years and years ago, truck drivers were heroes, right? They were fearless. They were great. Every kid wanted to be you, and every woman wanted to be with you. Right? We were looked at. You got the arm pump going down the road. There'd be 5 kids in the back of that station wagon, and they'd all be given to the arm pump. They all wanted to be truck drivers. Nobody wants to be a fucking truck driver today. Why? because you're going to be regulated to death. You're going to be governed to death. You're going to be paid way below what you should be paid. You're going to work 70 hours a week. You're going to, you know, it's just, it's what they've done to the industry. It's hurt us. They thought that what they were doing, and to go all the way around, is the people that brought all of these regulations and these e-logs and, oh yeah, this is what we're doing. Very, 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 very few of them drove a truck. Very few of them ever did the job that we do, have ever been out here, have ever, you know, they've never done it. But yet they're going to tell us how to do it. You know, and I struggle with that. I struggle with that with where I work now. You know, there's people that I have to deal with that are gonna, you have to do this and you can't do that. It's like, well, and then they're gonna grade you on it. You know, you'll get performance grades and everything like that. Well, how are you gonna grade me on doing a job that you can't do yourself? And that's where I struggle. I really do struggle with, if you're not in a position to do the job that you're telling me to do, shut the fuck up. You have no business telling me how to do it. Right? If you've been out here for 25 years, or you've been out here for, you know, even if you've been out here for 10 years and you've done the job for 10 years, then I'm going to be a little more patient and go, okay, what do you got to say? Let's hear what you're saying. All right. Oh, okay. Maybe I agree. Maybe I disagree, but I'll listen to you. But if you've never, ever, ever, ever done this job and you're in a position to tell me how to do the job, I struggle with that. I really do. Sorry. It's just one of those areas where I just don't do well with that. My boss keeps telling me I drive too slow. Okay, well, if you're not first, you're last, Ricky Bobby. Well, if it was NASCAR, I'd agree with you, Shannon, but you know as well as I do. When you drive oversized, everything is slow. Mr. Bees, I agree with you. And that was one of the things that I really enjoyed about doing oversized and super heavy and shit like that, because time wasn't a matter, right? Time wasn't something that you really had to consider. The only thing you really had to consider was daylight hours, you know, squeezing as much as you could into your daylight hours. But you didn't have to worry so much to the point of being reckless or careless. You weren't necessarily always, you didn't get the feeling that you were racing a clock like you do with an e-log, right? The deadlines for deliveries and pickups is why, in my opinion. It could be, Shannon, it could be, but I'll be honest with you. Everything I did this week had an appointment. Okay. It had an appointment, and I was able to do everything that I needed to do with doing it my way, not racing a clock, and still make my appointments, with the exception of one, right? I was a little bit late due to unforeseen circumstances. It wasn't me. It was, you know, something else. And if that be the case, again, I'm not willing to go from, you know, driving an average 65 miles an hour, getting 8.8 miles per gallon. I'm not taking that up to 72 miles an hour, dropping down to 7 miles per gallon to get it there within that 15-minute window. It's not going to make me any more money, but it's going to cost me an extra $40 in fuel. That I won't do. I will not do it. I will make more money at the end of the year with those increments doing it my way than I will blowing the, you know, because I got the load there, you know, on time and it wasn't 15 or 20 minutes late. Besides, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I very rarely have run into a customer where if my appointment's at 10 o'clock and I roll in at 10:15, they lose their minds. The other thing that I do is I'm very, very vocal with my customers, right? If my appointment is for 10 o'clock and I know that I'm not going to roll in till 10:15, I'll call. Hi, Brian at KBD, blah, blah, blah. I've got, this is what I'm bringing in. My appointment's for 10 o'clock. There's a wipeout on 76 going down through Philly. I'm tangled up in it. I'm going to be about 15, 20 minutes late. 99% of the time is don't worry about it when you get here. We'll take care of it when you get here. I'm not willing to pull money out of my pocket to make sure that load gets there for something like that. I'm not willing to do it. Call me ignorant or call me stubborn. I don't know. I'm just not willing to do it. My thought is that most companies are pushing their drivers, and the companies use the e-log. And as soon as it turns to 11:14 after your 10-hour, they want you up and gone, even though you're still tired. Well, you're exactly right, Zach. You're exactly right. Yep, ELDs make everything more dangerous. Paper ain't it either, though. Reason why the ELD exists now. Well, TJ, I agree with you. Okay. The reason that they took us off the paper is because, let's face it, TJ, I guarantee you're guilty of this. I'm guilty of this. Anybody that drove with a paper logbook is guilty of this. How many times, TJ, in the span of a week or over a couple of weeks, were you running 2 logbooks or 3 logbooks? Right? You could pretty much run indefinitely. I could. You give me, if I ran two, I did never run 3. I could run 2 really successfully. I never really ran 3 logbooks, but with 2 logbooks, I could run indefinitely. Now, is that the smart thing to do? No, but I was still responsible enough to know that when I was tired, I go to sleep. And when I'm rested and I can drive, I drive. I wasn't dictated to and pushed by a computer, The problem with what I'm saying is that there are guys out here, or there were guys out here that were very irresponsible with that responsibility, and they took advantage of it, and they did fall asleep, and they did have accidents. And those are the examples that they used to change the rules. So there was a very small percentage of people, not very small, but there was a small percentage of people that were abusing it, and the greater people suffered for it, right? Again, a lot of this is just my own experience, right? And what I've seen in the industry and how it's changed. I'm not quoting any of this out of any books or anything. This is just what I've seen, what I've experienced, because like all of you guys, I went from running paper and then making the transition into log books. I went from running the days of, fully mechanical engines into fucking computerized rocket ships on wheels going down the highway, so I've had to learn and adapt and improvise too. But this is just, everything I'm saying here is, I'm not saying anything that's new or original. It's just, this is what I've seen. They're approving in Senate hearings about the speed limiters that also the ELD was a bad idea, very bad idea, driven by megas and insurance companies. Well, that's what they're saying. And Spectre, I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I know that you guys, I think didn't you guys get a reprieve or something from they were going to govern you guys. I think it was supposed to be done in 2023, wasn't it? 2023 or 2024, but I think they've given you a reprisal on that. I think they've pushed that to the back burner. That's why I only work for hourly pay. Hey, you know what? That's your way around it. That's your way around it. Freeway, we've got companies up here in Canada right now, Robert Transport. I was talking about this last week. Robert, I think some divisions of CAT. There's a couple other companies, and they're paying all their highway guys by the hour. So every hour that you're on duty or driving in a day, they pay you by the hour for that. And they've had to do all the calculations of, okay, how much per hour do we pay? Okay, the truck generates this amount, blah, 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 blah. So would that be the good way to do it? Hey, maybe so. People would slow down. People would take their time. People would get it right if everybody was paid by the hour. It was the 90s when the media and the DOT made truckers look bad. Well, I don't know about you, but I was there in the middle of it, Curtis, when Trudeau and the federal government tore us a new ass at that convoy. I lived it. I experienced it. Like anything in the world, no government wants their people to rise up and fight back. And that's what that convoy, in a very small term, was. In a small sense, that's what that was. Right? Now, mind you, they did not expect 100,000 plus to rise up in the city of Ottawa. They did not expect that. They were overwhelmed. Their response was still very irresponsible and illegal. But your phone has you down to the second. Give it give or take 3 feet where you stopped, how long, and if you went to the potty or not. Just saying. You know what, Mr. Bees, you're right, but my phone doesn't dictate how much money I make or what I do in a job. It travels with me on a personal level. No trucking company has exclusive rights, or they don't have access to my personal phone. That's why if a company wants to, like our company that I'm on with, their company drivers, they supply the cell phone to. Now they offered it to the owner operators, and all of us went, hell no. Oh, absolutely not. You've got enough on me, right? With the ELD and the tracking and all. You've got enough on me. You think I'm giving you access to a phone too? No. Kiss my ass. Let's put it this way. When my dad was driving in the 90s, he was making 70 to 80K a year, and he retired in 2019. He was making the same amount. It's worth way, way less, but it's worth way, way less. Curtis, I agree. This is one of those industries. I think a lot of people can agree with me that inflation has gone up. The cost of living has gone up. Everything has gone up. And in a lot, not say most, that's wrong, sorry. In a lot of other industries, the pay scale has gone up faster than it has in the trucking industry. Okay. And I'll give you an example. A while back, Dar and I were cleaning out some shit, and we found some old statements, owner op, when I was, back in 2015, right? From the company I was working at in 2015. And I was looking at the statements there, and we took those statements and we were comparing them to what we were making currently. Okay. I was making as much money then as I am now, but I was keeping more of it then than I am now. I made the same amount of money, generated the same amount of revenue, but the cost of living now is so ridiculous as it was to 2015. That's what, 8 years ago, right? So I'm actually going backwards. As an owner operator, I'm going backwards. I'm making the same amount of money, but I'm not keeping the same amount of money. Kind of tells you might want to get the hell out of business. Yeah, not too many. I'll agree with some, but not too many. My first day on the OTR job, I was paid 6 cents a mile. Dude, you're old. Good point, Curtis. My dad was well paid also. Yeah. You want to know who's paid well? The guys that do really well in this industry are shunt drivers. Like Dar just reminded me of something. Like his Dar's dad, he was a company driver for years and years and years, and then he became an owner operator briefly. Didn't like it. He got out, went back to being a company driver, and then he became a shunt driver. He became a yard dog, and he was on with one of Canada's big fleet companies. And Rick did very, very, very well for himself. Made a very good name for himself in the business as a yard dog, and did very well financially for himself. Like it's a good paying gig. A good quality shunt driver are a dime a dozen, or sorry, not a dime a dozen. They're very hard to find. A good experienced shunt driver are very, very hard to find. And when you do find one that does that is very good at what they do, you pay them well. You think about this, right? In an average day working at the terminal where Rick was working, it had 54 doors, dock doors, right? So it was a cross dock. 54 doors, okay? In the span of a 10-hour day that he would work, he'd turn over all 54 doors 3 times. Do you know how many moves that is? Do you know how hard you're working and shucking and jiving? Not a lot of guys can make that pace, can keep that pace and do that. Not many guys can do that in this business, right? But he could, and they paid him well for it. But I know as well, those shunt drivers you see down at the rail, those guys are paid well. The docks, they're paid well. A lot of the big, like CN yards, they're paid well. A lot of the big companies up here that have big terminals, and there's 3, 4, 5, 6 shunt trucks running around, they're paid. Hopefully they are. I'd like to think that they are. These days, drivers need to learn how to just drive along around 98 to 103 kilometers an hour. And when one guy tries to pass back out. It's not worth the stress. Keep safety in mind and share the road. Agreed? Agreed. Yeah, Curtis, I agree with that. Where the speed limit allows you. In Canada, the speed limit's 100 kilometers an hour on most of our highways. A couple of them now 110. So 100 kilometers an hour is what, 62 and a half miles an hour, 63 miles an hour. 110 is what, 70, 68, something like that, 70 miles an hour. If the speed limit is allowing you to do that, then do the speed limit. That's fine. I agree with keeping the pace, the flow of traffic moving. There's nothing worse as a Canadian truck that's governed at 63 miles an hour, and you get out to the Midwest, and the speed limit out there is 70, 75, some places 80 miles an hour. And you are there, you are 100%. I will agree with you. You are a hindrance. If the speed limit's 75 and best you can pull a 63, get off the interstate and grab a state road somewhere. Even then, most of them are 65 or 70, 75 mile an hour too. So I think that they should allow trucks to be able to run at this posted speed limit. I'm not going to, whether trucks should be governed or not is a whole different story. Like we could burn off another 10 hours talking about that. I just, yeah. You guys are talking kilometers an hour. Yeah, you guys are talking in magic nuts. Hey, we may well be. I do everything in miles, Nick. Kilometers, miles. If somebody asked me to get in my truck and drive a kilometer, I couldn't tell you how far a kilometer is. Right? I know it's 1.6 miles. Okay. But if you told me to get into my truck and drive a mile, I could probably nail it within a couple of yards. Right? But if you ask me to go drive a kilometer, not a clue. Not a clue. Don't have a clue what a kilometer is. This guy here does, though. There's Pat over in Germany. He knows exactly what a kilometer is. I think that you guys do everything in kilometers over there, Pat, don't you? Now you want to hear an argument for speed governing. These guys over there are governed at 55 miles an hour. What's that, like 82 kilometers or something like that? 55 miles an hour. Jesus Christ, at 55, you could be going down the highway, get out while the truck's moving, get out, plant your flower bed, get back in your truck. 55 miles an hour that's way too slow. Way too slow. But you guys got a whole different system over there of how you work and how you operate and times, and your trucks are set up differently. You guys got big V8, 600, 700 horsepower engines that are still getting, 8.5 to 9 miles per gallon. So, I wish we had stuff like that. Curtis Hawk, hard to run 110 up here when in Canada and Ontario pushes the 105 speed limiters. So we have no choice but to drive slower to allow others to pass you. Yeah. We call them elephant races, right, Zach? You get two Canadian trucks that are governed. The US drivers, you guys must have seen this 100 fucking times, and you guys just pull your hair out, right? You get two Canadian trucks going up a hill. One's governed at 104 and one's governed at 104 and a half. And we call it elephant races, right? And it's like, it takes 15 minutes for one to pass the other one. And by the time they do, there's 3 miles of traffic lined up behind it. It just drives me nuts. It just drives me nuts. Absolutely. I can't stand it. Cents per mile for driving, hourly for everything on duty and yard move. You know what, TJ, that's kind of how we work here where I am, right? I get paid by the mile, and then anything that I have to do extra, if I'm on duty getting offloaded, if I have to do anything else, then we get paid by the hour. Actually, our company is the same as a lot of companies. I have to give 2 hours. It sucks. It does. Our company tried to go down to an hour, and all the other customers said, no, F you. We're not doing that. No, sorry. 2 hours is the industry standard. So, if I'm going in to get loaded, you got to give them 2 hours for free. And then if it's a lot of the things that I do are express. So, for example, I'll deliver in Berlin, in Berlin, New Jersey, the morning. I get there the night before. I sleep there. They offload me first thing in the morning. I got a 7:30 appointment, and then I'll run over to Fairfield, and it's just a drop and hook. But that load in Fairfield that I'm picking up is a same day delivery. I'm not so if I do all of that, say Monday morning, by Monday night I have to deliver that Fairfield, right? So it's same day delivery, and from Fairfield up to Ottawa where it's going, that's 485 miles plus the 102 miles that I've already had to run from Berlin over to Fairfield. So now you're at 585 on the day, and you've had to go into basically not quite. You've almost gone into. You've taken the 95. You get on the 95, say in Philly. Now you got to run the 95 over to 2 exits past the GW, so you know what area I'm talking about, and then you got to go north a little bit on the the 280 to get up into Fairfield. So now you're really pushing, and they want it delivered same freaking day. And you have to give them 2 hours. Like, believe me, it sucks sometimes. That 2 hour thing sucks. I'm way late. Have you talked about the BC company shutting down? I have not talked about the BC. Nobody's talked about a BC company shutting down. Again, I don't know about it. I don't know about it. Maybe I'm just not up to date on the world or the Canadian industry standards or industry right now. There's a lot of stuff that I just First of all, I don't watch mainstream news. Like I don't watch CNN. I don't watch Fox. I don't watch up here in Canada. We've got City TV, Global TV. We got the National. I don't watch any of that. I don't watch any of it. A lot of drivers looking bad, we as an industry have done to ourselves. Spectre, I'll agree with that. Okay. I think in a lot on that, I will say the actions of a few have hurt the many. I'm not saying that, you know what, I have a halo, or Spectre, you have a halo, or Nick does, or TJ does. We've all been made bad decisions out on the road at one point or another in our careers. None of us are perfect, right? But I think in the case like that, the actions and irresponsibility and stupidity of the few have impacted the many, and we're paying the price for it. I think that's about as politically correct as I can say that. Mr. Bees, you need a warrant to look at my house. Be careful what you ask for. Government steps in. Nothing good happens. Dude, look, Spectre, you know better than any of us. You own the company, for Christ's sake. Over the last bunch of years, right? How much government interjection has been put in front of you that you've had to jump over, loophole through, go around, deal with. It's ridiculous. I guarantee you it's ridiculous. I haven't had to deal with the same amount that you have. So I can only imagine that it's absolutely asinine. Government wants to get involved in anything. There's no good ending to it. No good end. There is no happy ending. Let me put it that way. There is no happy ending. Inflation went up 6%. Yeah, wow. Just remember this, Nick. It's an election year. You watch that. Is it true? Sorry. Is it true that they are looking at bringing back the 10 and 8 rules set in the USA, as I saw mentioned on another YouTube video, and wanted to know how true it is? I heard something about it, but I did not investigate it. I did not check it out. But it looks like the next comment looks like here's your answer. Zach, yes. The speed limit discussion in the Senate has brought about a lot of options being tabled and brought up. Yeah, it would have to. DD15, how the hell are you? What's up, Brian? Thanks for popping in. Love that picture on your name there. Good looking truck, brother. Love that. To DD15, chilly day here in Oshawa. I guess I get about to get chillier later today and tomorrow. Well, I'm up just north of I'm just up north of Napanee and Kingston area, so we've got flurries going on here, but it's cold. The temperature's dropping, so you know why you guys are getting chilly, and you know why it's getting colder and colder, and the weather's getting shittier and shittier in Oshawa, because you guys deserve it in Oshawa. I'm just fucking with you, man. It's a long shot, but it's been discussed in recent hearings. I don't follow that. I probably should. I should probably pay more attention to that. I don't, unfortunately. Nick Earl, a lot of companies, brokers you are hauling for are required to take one of theirs. Just saying, if you choose to use them or set them up, you can, but you still carry your own. Like I said, government steps in. Yeah, agreed. I think we can all, agree to that. Shunt drivers aren't paid worth a fuck here in the States. They should be. Our pay was high 2 years ago. So many people got into the biz, supply and demand. Lance, well, you're right. And if you're talking about the owner operators, your pay was high because COVID and whatnot, and all the crazy shit that happened, and the $6 a mile freight, and people were going out and buying ridiculous equipment. We all know people that have done it. Supply and demand was high. The pay was high. People got stupid and bought trucks and equipment at a high rate and a high price. You want to know where all those people are right now and where their equipment is? At Ritchie Brothers. Those guys that bought those $300,000 Peterbilts 2.5 years ago, you can buy that guy's truck out of the Ritchie Brothers for $100,000. Nothing good lasts. Did you think that, COVID, $6 a mile freight, did you think that was going to become the norm? Did you think that was going to become the norm? And here's the thing that people really got stupid about, okay? People were making money hand over fist, including all the companies, all the big companies were making it, the small companies, everybody was making money hand over fist. Okay, so you had this industry rate or standard of what we were making before, right? So I'm just going to pull a number out. This isn't true, so I'm just using this as an example. But let's just say the average freight was, before all of this happened, everybody was running around getting, the average freight was going about $2.50 a mile. And then this happens. All of a sudden, freight's now $5.50 to $6 a mile. Right? Everybody goes out and over leverages themselves, blows their brains out. They're making money. They're buying boats. They're buying cars. They're buying houses. They're buying strippers. They're buying fucking whatever. Right? And then the bottom falls out. It's good for a while. And then the bottom falls out. And then the rate goes back down. Right? It goes back down. And people lost their shit. They were losing their minds, going, oh my God, what are we going to do? The market's crashed. No, the market didn't crash, you idiots. The market just came back down to what it was before all of that happened. If you look at the numbers prior, and then the inflated number that we all worked into for those 2.5 years, and then the numbers afterwards, the number in the middle is the only one that fucking changed. This was a set number that everybody was making and averaging. This one went through the roof and it was ridiculous. And when this bubble collapsed, the numbers came back down and people were like, oh my God, we can't survive on this. Well, you were surviving on it 2.5 years ago. Right. And that was what the disappointment for me was, watching people that had over leveraged and totally lost their minds and went out and bought all this shit. Did you really think that this was going to last forever? I guess they did. The smart people that had been in business for a while, that had worked their way through multiple recessions, have seen recessions, have seen business, business tumbles, that have been through all of that. When they $6 a mile freight hit, those smart people were banking. They weren't buying shit. They were banking, or they were banking. While they were banking, they were paying off the equipment that they already had. They weren't running out buying $300,000 pieces of equipment. If they already had a truck and they still had, say, 50 grand owing on it, pay that off. Pay it off. That's what the smart people were doing. The stupid people, I hate to say it, and if you're in here and you did this, then you know what? You did it to yourself. In Europe, it's illegal to pay by the mile. It's either hourly rate or fixed monthly wage. Yeah, Pat, you and I have talked about that. I don't think that would fly over here. Honestly, I don't think that would fly over here. I don't know if I would want, well, as a company driver, I don't know if I would want to work for a monthly rate, like a salary. Although, who knows? I got a couple of friends of mine, Mikey Campbell, the guy that writes all the music for our channel. Mikey Campbell, he took a job after he worked for us as well. We paid him by the mile, but after he left us, he went to go work for actually one of my mentors. He went to work for Paul, and Paul put him on salary. Said, okay, here, well, I'm going to pay you X amount salary, so it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter how many miles you do, or you're going to get the same paycheck every week. And Paul was very gracious. Paul paid him well, right? So that wasn't an issue. It's when they put you on salary and you're out there working a 70-hour week and you're going broke, right? Because salary isn't competitive. I am so behind in comments. Sorry, guys. Mr. B's, that's got nothing to do with it. DOT looking at my phone still. Well, I don't really care about speed limit because I'm on the right lane doing 63 miles an hour. You know what? DD15, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I made a comment earlier that I did make the exception at one point earlier this week, and I broke my own rule, and I cranked it up. I went from 63, 64. I took it up to about 68 to 70. Part of the reasoning was I knew I was going to make the appointment, but I was also racing weather. I had weather coming in behind me, and it was going to overtake me, and I didn't want to deal with it. I was already tired. My eyes were tired. I think I had 110 something miles left to go. I was about a quarter way down the 476, right? I'd come off the 81. I got on the 476. The weather was coming in. So it was either dial it up a bit and get down there, or I'd be dealing with some weather. I made the call. But that's a call like that I don't make very often. I very rarely will sacrifice fuel for time. And that's an exception. That case there I did, but for most cases, no, I don't. 63, 64, 8.5 to 8.8 miles per gallon. Now, mind you, with the winter fuel now, I don't know if any of you guys have noticed, but my truck is an 8.5 mile, say, average truck, 8.5 mile per gallon truck. Now with the winter fuel and the cold weather, even with the front cover on the front of the truck, I'm down to 8. I'm down to some right now. I think the truck's sitting in the driveway just outside that door there. If I go look at the computer, I think this week I ran 7.9. But that's just winter fuel, the additives, all the shit. You lose fuel mileage. Colder weather, you get poor fuel mileage. As a company driver, not as an owner operator. Of course, yeah, Pat. I thought so. Yeah, like I said, you and I have talked about it. They limit us to 55 mile an hour here in California. Oh, Jesus, I don't go into California. Luckily for me, the company I'm with doesn't do California. Now, we have the authorities. Our authorities can go into Cali, but we don't. I look at California like I look at New York City. Okay. If you want me to go into New York City, you pay me extra. Fuck the rate. If the load pays $2,500 to go from Toronto to New York City, right, to one of the boroughs or anywhere in New York City, it's $2,500, and then there has to be an incentive on top of that for me to go into New York City. California for me is the same way. If you want me to go into California, you're going to pay me a premium to go into California. Not because it's difficult to drive in. It's just because it's a shitty fucking place to fucking go as a truck driver. Bottom line. Even the UK uses miles per hour. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Yeah, we do everything in kilometers, and the trucks are limited at 90 clicks, 90 kilometers. So what's that? At 55, right? No need to go that fast in these land missiles. Well, Spectre, yeah, no. You know, when I get out on the big roads, you get out into the Midwest and everything, and you've got a 70, 75 mile an hour speed limit. If your truck is geared for it, right? Like I've got 308 rear ends in my truck. I don't know what you've got in those Western Stars you bought, but I think when we were talking about it, I think you either had 308s or you had what 350s or 355s, 308 rear ends. I can dial my truck up to on flat ground, right? Never mind like on the East Coast where you're going up and down PA and the hills and all the shit, but on flat ground, I can comfortably take my truck up to 70, 75 mile an hour and still keep it over 8 miles per gallon. I can still do it because the truck is geared for that. But do I need to be, you know, when I'm on the hills and I'm doing everything? Yeah, my speed limit is my speed is 64 miles an hour. DD15, I'm the same. I just run the right line, carry along 62, 63. Yeah. Why not? And it's good because as a company driver, your company's going to thank you for that. 55 is too slow. It kills the efficiency of any modern day engine. I always feel that, well, because the new trucks are meant to lag a lot lower, right? Remember like Spectre, I think you had one, you're in your old Western Star. I think you had a 60 series, right? You couldn't lag that down to 900 RPM before you grabbed another gear when you were going up a hill. They weren't designed for that. Same with the 3406s or even the C15 Cats. They weren't meant to lag. These new engines are low RPM, high horsepower engines. They're built that way. They're designed that way. And that's the way they are. So if you look at the computer, if I just leave my cruise control on and I'm going up and down the hills, that thing will go down to 900 RPM before it'll drop a gear. It's designed to do that. The motors are built to do that. The modern day engines, 55, I agree, is too slow. It is. I have fun. I have to run in 12th at 55 miles an hour. You have a manual or an auto, Nick? Zach Brown, yes, sir. My truck's sweet spot is 63. I get 7.5 out of it. I have a 03 12.7 60 series. That's my favorite engine, 15. DD15. That is my favorite engine. 12.7 60 series. Absolutely. My favorite engine in the world. If I had to choose, like if I had to line them up, all my favorite engines, 12.7 60 series, the 12.7 N14 red top Cummins, and the 3406 mechanicals. Now we're not talking mile per gallon. Those aren't my favorite trucks to get miles per gallon, good MPG out of. But like if I had oodles of money and I could give a damn rat's ass about fuel mileage, I'd have a 60 series Detroit in every truck I drove. Love that engine. They're user friendly, easy to fix. Parts are available. They're durable. You can run the hell out of them. They're super simple. I said that super simple to fix. They're not expensive to fix. I'll give you an example. A new turbo on a D13 Volvo is going to run you in Canada. These are Canadian prices. It's going to run you about $8,000, right? A brand new turbo for a 60 series Detroit under $2,000. Love it. I'll swap turbos all day long. Nothing ever comes good from someone that says, "Hi, I'm here from the government. No, I agree. I agree. If they ever come knocking on my door, they won't get they might get the word hi out of their mouth before the door gets closed. Pro strip, I have proven, at least in my truck, 55 mile an hour doesn't kill a modern engine, but in fact leads to fuel savings. And you could lengthen your oil change intervals. Donnie, I don't know what you do. Or I know, sorry, that's a lie. I know what you do. I know how you do it. I don't know why you're getting the results you are. I don't know if you've got one of those one-off engines that just decided to work a little differently or be happy, or I don't know if maybe every morning you get down and kneel and pray right beside you, put your hands on both sides of the engine block and do the, oh Lord Jesus, my help me today. And I need an 8.5 miles per gallon. Hallelujah. And I don't have a clue, because the way you're doing it with your engine and the numbers that you're getting are not typical. They're not typical. So good on you, brother. Absolutely good on you. And Donnie, I wasn't making fun of you with the religious comment. Just, I got to cover my ass here, but just, we're all good. You, me, and God are all good. I would like to be paid percentage if I was a company driver. Not sure how that would work with benefits, though. I'm not 100% sure, brother. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know a lot of guys. Well, at least up here, as company drivers that are paid percentage. I know that Oser is paid. James and Oser have a deal. They have a split percentage. I know what it is. I'm not going to say it. That's up to them. But I know that I guess it's been successful for them to date. But I don't know anybody else up here or around that runs as a company driver that's on percentage. I just don't know. Pay over $200,000 for a new truck? No way in hell is you're buying a computer. The truck is just secondary, as you always say. Yeah, that's right. You pay $200,000 for a computer, and they throw the truck in for free. Anyone else here know anyone that has ever gotten 10 miles per gallon with a Cummins ISX? No, I don't. I don't know anybody that's got an X15 that's getting fucking 10 miles a gallon, Don. Right? I think it's a combination of your speed, your gear ratio, and where you drive. You're not pulling a lot of hills. Let's face it. Like, I have a general idea, and I certainly won't say, Don, where you run. Okay. But I do have the biggest hill you pull is probably pulling out of your driveway. Okay. So you're not pulling a lot of grades. You're not pulling a lot of hills. For the most part, you're flat. That does make a big difference. Okay. That really does make a big difference. Now, if you take that, you put that in combination with your 55, 56 miles an hour, and you put in the fact that, I think you've told me, I think we've talked about it, but you'll have to excuse me, my brother. I don't remember, but whatever your gear ratio is, when you put all of that together, and I happen to know that the wind blows out of the west more than it blows out of the east. So you've probably got yourself a real nice tailwind most of the time, which makes a difference, believe it or not. But other than that, I don't know how the hell you're doing it. I don't know your magic wand. X15 is the new gen trucks, just about promises 9 to 12 miles per gallon. I can't see that. I just can't see Cummins doing that. Yeah, the X15. I know that Shannon Thomas has the new she's got the new International. Excuse me, the LT. She's got an X15 in that thing. It is a beast. I've never driven it, but we were in it. Her and I were in it. She started it up, and it's like, that doesn't sound like no Detroit. It doesn't sound like a D13 Volvo. It doesn't sound like a PACCAR. It's a different breed of engine. But they're not the most fuel efficient engines in the world. They might be able to post, oh yeah, the X15 will get you 12 to 50 or 9 to 12 miles per gallon. I don't see it happening, no. Cummins ain't it. Detroit or bust. Cummins quality has fallen way, way off. You know what? Post-trip, Spectre, I agree with you up to a certain point. I think that they have really upped their game with the X15. Okay? When you think about all the problems from 2012 when the ISX was it not, I think it was 2008. 2008 when anyway, with the ISX from 2008 right up until when they stopped doing it and they went to the X15 in what, 17 or something like that. Those years were the worst years for Cummins. That's when their reliability, their reputation, their service, everything just went freaking into the toilet. I think with the X15, they've upped their game. Now, are they as good as a Detroit? No. But would I take an X15 over a PACCAR? All day long. Would I take an X15 over the new Volvo D13 motor? They're about a tie. The only reason I might take the Cummins, I think that the D13 to Volvo motor will get you the better fuel mileage, right? The only reason I would take the X15 is that it's a 15 liter as opposed to a 13 liter. And over the lifespan of the motor, a 15 liter won't work as hard as a 13 liter will. That would be the only reason that I would do it. Know anyone that has gotten that firsthand, Curtis? I know Fate has one, and I get better fuel mileage at times than him. Well, I don't, Donnie. Cummins is the new economy engine. No, it's not. It's better to replace than to rebuild. Oh, you know what the price? You know what the price? What the price is on rebuilds these days? Everybody's talking about, oh, the price of this, the price of that. Buddy of mine's he's in the middle of doing it right now. He's got a D13. He's getting a total in frame done, and that bill right now is sitting at just over 60 grand. Guys, 60 fucking grand. No thanks. Canadian. Again, I say that Canadian because I know there's a bunch of Americans you're grabbing for your keyboards going, no, that doesn't, no. 60 grand Canadian. That's crazy. So all you signed up again for the Ice Road truck. Am I signed? No, I'm not going this year. Our company is the company that I'm with. They're not doing that aspect of ice roading. They've got another contract in another area. And I'm not going. If I do go again, I will do it, but I will not take my own truck. Okay. I did it with my own truck last time and it was a great experience. And I kind of knew going in that I was going to, probably bend a fender. I was going to do this, mud flaps, that kind of shit. And I did exactly what I thought I was going to do. I didn't break anything and I was lucky, but now that I've seen it and done it, I will not do it with my own truck again. You want to pay me to park my truck and give me one of their company rides? Because all of their company rides are the big 3, I don't know what the model is. They're not the 389 or 589s or 58, so whatever. But they're all the heavy specs, right? They're double framed, 14.6 steer axles, 46 drive axles, double framed, 18 speed manuals. You give me one of those, yeah, I'll drive your truck, but I'm not doing mine. No. It was, you know what, Mr. Bees, it was one of those things that in my career, I never did it and I never thought I'd get a chance to do it. So it was kind of like on the bucket list. Now that I've done it, I don't have to go do it again. I've been there, I've done it. I learned a lot from it. I learned a lot about driving trucks. I also learned a lot about myself doing it. I don't have to do it anymore. I don't believe Cummins fuel promises, especially 9 to 12 miles per gallon. But new gen PACCAR MX-13, it is the truth because one of my friends has a 2022 Pete 579. He's getting 10 miles a gallon doing 25,000 pounds. Yeah, but doing 25,000 pounds. And where is he running? It's just my opinion. If you put 25,000 pounds on my truck, I'm going to get 10 miles per gallon. Right. And look where I run, right? Primarily I run the East Coast. So I am on I-81 a lot. Anybody here that knows I-81, you are doing this. Like you're flat from the border in Alexandria Bay. You're flat from there all the way down to Syracuse. You come out the bottom end of Syracuse, the first thing you're doing is you're pulling a 1.5 mile grade, and I don't know what the grade percentage is, but you're pulling. Like, it's got a truck lane, so you got to be in it because you're pulling, right? Now, if you put 25,000 pounds on my truck, I'm going to pull that hill no problem. When you're putting 45,000 pounds on a truck, your miles per gallon ain't no 12. I guarantee you that. It doesn't matter if it's an MX-13, D13, DD15, an X15. I think a lot of it has to do with where you're running. Personally, I will never get another Cummins engine purely for the fact that there are issues with having a truck that has a third-party engine in it. They are fairly easy to work on, at least, though. The nice thing here, and the nice thing about having, say, a Cummins or a Detroit, right? If I've got a problem with my motor, I don't have to take it to Freightliner. I can take it to Kenworth. I can take it to Peterbilt. I can take it to International. I can take it to Volvo. I can take it to Freightliner, Western. So I can take it anywhere because they all work on Detroit. Same with a Cummins, right? You got a Cummins, an X15. Just about everybody works on a Cummins. Just about, not everybody. But if you've got an MX-13, you've got a PACCAR motor, okay, you're going to Kenworth or Pete. You got a Volvo D13, you're going to Volvo. With my motor, I've got a DD15. With my motor, I can go anywhere, right? I can go anywhere. With a Cummins, I can go almost anywhere. With the other two, you're kind of limited. And I like having the option to be able to just take mine. Now, if it's a Freightliner issue, then of course you got to take the Freightliner. That's a given. But if it's a motor issue, I can take that anywhere, right? I can take that anywhere. You lose a lot of mileage also in California as you're always in the mountains and fairly big hills. Well, I don't do big hills. I do big hills. What am I saying? I go where the money is. But like I said, if you want me to go to California, you're going to pay me to go to California. I'm not going there for free. There's going to be a premium. About 56 miles per hour is 90 clicks. Yeah, it's around there. It's slow. Officer Mike's. There's a new one. I haven't seen that one. What do you think of the Detroit 12.7? Love it. Favorite motor. Love it. Love it. N14 is a 14-liter. What did I call it, Curtis? Did I say it was a 12.7? I did, didn't I? My apologies. You're absolutely correct. The only problem with the N14 is you need to walk around. You always need to keep at least 3 fuel injectors. You need to keep 3 injectors in your toolbox. The good thing is you can swap those out right on the side of the road. That's how easy those motors are to work on. But you need at least a couple of injectors at all times because those goddamn things are absolutely horrible on injectors. Detroit 12.7 is called bulletproof for a reason. Love 14-liter as well, but 12.7 is cheaper to fix. Yeah. Well, it's what it is parts. Parts are more readily available for the 12.7 than they are for the 14, right? What's your favorite cigar? Anything by Rocky Patel. I picked up today. I've got a 25-year vintage. I've got this one here that I'm smoking. This one here is actually a select. It's a rare cigar. It's only aged 2 years. It's not a highly, but really good cigar. This one has a really nice flavor blend. The changes are very subtle. You know, when you smoke say an Alec Bradley, or you'll smoke even a Monte Cristo, which they're nice, but they're overrated Cuban cigars. But Alec Bradley, a lot of the Nicaraguan and Honduran cigars. So when you're smoking the cigar and you get the flavor change, because usually on cigars there's usually 2 to 3 different flavor changes as the blend goes through. These ones here, I'm finding, well, I've always found that Rocky Patel's, it's always a subtle change. It doesn't just go from, you've got a real nice earthy flavor, and then you'll go into a nice little, like a coffee, a burnt coffee taste, and then you'll get into something else. With Alec Bradley, they're very subtle going from one to the other. Or sorry, with Rocky Patel, it's very subtle going from one to the other. When you go from, like a lot of other cigars, you'll be smoking it, you'll be going da da da, and then all of a sudden you'll take a pull on it, and it's like, the hell is that? And then you got to take a couple more for the blend for the actual flavor to smooth itself out, and then you get into the flavor, right? And then the next flavor kicks in, and it's like okay. I'm a bit of a snob. I'm not a high-end cigar smoker. Let me put it that way. I don't smoke expensive cigars. This stick here was $14. This Rocky Patel was $14. I don't need to smoke Cohibas at $106 a stick. I was talking to the guy at the cigar place today, and I said, only twice in my life have I ever smoked $100 a cigar that was over $100, and I didn't pay for either of them. One of them was gifted, and the other one was just somebody just gave it to me. It's like, hey, we're smoking these today. Or I'm like, you make enough money that you can hand out $110 cigars to all your friends. It's like, if you do, great, give it to me. I'll cut it and smoke it, but I don't need to. I'm finding that the best cigars in the world these days are anywhere between the $10 to $25 range. And like I said, the Hondurans and Nicaraguans nowadays are making cigars. Even the Dominicans, they're bringing up the rear, but they're making cigars now that are on par, if not better than the Cubans. Better, in my opinion. And because I've smoked them all. I've smoked all of them. Now, will I sit down and still smoke a Monte Cristo number 2? Yes. Love that cigar. Great cigar. Will I still sit down? I sat, last couple of weeks ago for my birthday, I got a couple of real nice Romeo and Julietas, a couple of real nice Churchills. Really enjoyed those. So yes, those are really good Cuban cigars. And those ones there are in the $45 to $50 cigar range. But I don't need to smoke those. These ones here are just if you really like to smoke cigars and you want to do it, you can do it, and it won't break the bank. Unless you're like me and you're an absolute pig, and like if I had 200 cigars in my humidor, I would just continue to smoke one after another. I have very little self-control. Yep, 14-liter Series 60, 355 gearing, 13 speed. She's screaming at 70 miles an hour. Yeah, sounds awesome though, don't it? And Spectre, I guarantee you can take your coffee cup and sit it on the top of the dash, and that liquid will not move. When those motors are wound out to like 16, 17, even 1800 RPM, like the vibration, it's such a really weird sensation, but it is so awesome. That's the great thing about those 60 series Detroit motors were meant to wind out. Like you could take those things up to 2100, 2200 RPMs, and you're not hurting that engine. It's loving it. You wouldn't run 300 miles at 2100 RPM, but they were a high rev, high horse engine, right? Those 60 series. Same with the N14s, right? Same with the old mechanicals, 3406, 3404, 3408s. Same thing. Best part about a 60 series, they can run without a cylinder down, low oil, and bad bull gear, and still outpull a cat. I beg to differ. I've yet to see. If you take a crate 3406 cat and put it in a truck, and put a crate 14-liter 60 series and put it in a truck, same gear, same everything, that 3406, and put the same weight on the trailer, and let's just use Fancy Gap as an example, and you race those two trucks up Fancy Gap, that cat's going to beat that Detroit by at least 4 truck lengths. Promise you. I've owned both. I know what they'll do. The 10 mile plus per gallon plus is with light loads, nice weather, and basically flats in Missouri. I know. So in other words, Donnie, you're cheating. I'm just kidding. 55 mile an hour is the key, and lots of aerodynamic improvements. Well, that's one thing I'll give you credit for. You've really taken that to the next level, because not only, you've got the flow below on the truck, right? On your truck. So you've got it for your drive axles and whatnot. You've got your wheel covers and all that. But you've also got it. You've got the skirts on your trailer, and you've got the flow below on your trailer as well. We were talking about that in the phone the other day, and they don't make the flow below anymore for the trailer. So that's why you really don't want to go with super singles, because if you blow one, you'll destroy your flow below. But I guarantee you that's got to be helping you. Between just the flow below on the truck and the trailer and the skirts and the wheel covers, that's probably giving you 3/4 of a mile per gallon. Just that alone. That's just that alone. There is a reason everyone wants them for gliders. No, you're right. You're right. All the gliders. Well, you look at Fitzgerald. No, they're not making gliders anymore, from what I understand. But if you look at them, they had down the one whole side of the building, there were all crates, Detroit, 60 series Detroits. And on the other side was all cats, right? C3406 and C15 cats. That's what they wanted. You can rebuild a 60 series Detroit in a Walmart parking lot. You're right, Mr. Misunderstood. And the N14 is the same thing with Cummins. The N14 and the 60 series are both motors that were so simple to work on. You didn't need to have $1 million worth of tools, right? You didn't need to have all of that to work on them. They were, for lack of a better term of saying, they were a nuts and bolts engine. Really, they were really basic. But that's what made them so good, right? That's what made them so good. And it's also what made them reliable. There's less shit on them to fail, right? As long as the parts were mechanically made properly and you didn't have a part failure, there was no reason why you should ever have to do anything with a 60 series Detroit engine. Just keep the fuel and the oil changed in it. Goddamn thing will run forever. I'll give you another example. Back in the mid 90s, down in Colombia, down in the jungles of Colombia, the drug cartels, right? That's when they started, the late 80s and early 90s. That's when they started making, they started building themselves little villages of their own out in the jungle, and they were growing their coca leaves and they were processing it. They didn't have to transport it out of the fields or down off the mountains. They'd actually build a small town or whatever, like a small living for all the workers. What do you think they used as a power source? Cat engines. The drug lords, the drug cartels were buying crate cat motors, shipping them down to Colombia, fucking hauling them out into the jungle, right? And and they'd use them to power everything that they needed down there. So as long as they had diesel and oil, that motor never turned off. It just ran 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Why? Because they were reliable. And if something, God forbid, something did happen to it, they could have it fixed almost immediately. To rebuild a cat motor, it's roughly 45 to 60 grand. To rebuild an N12, it's roughly 20 grand. 60 series, it's like 12 to 18 grand. Yeah. If it's higher than that, you're getting ripped off. Okay, I'll believe you. Invader, no doubt in my truck and all my trucks, 55 is very inefficient. Maybe it's a difference in manual transmission versus autos. That does make a big difference between a manual and an auto. Again, we could make the comparison. Take two trucks, identical trucks, put a 13-speed in one, put an auto, 12-speed auto in the other, put the same trailer, same weight, run it a 2,000-mile trip, and both trucks go the exact same route, exact same type back. I promise you, the one with the automated transmission will get better fuel efficiency than the manual. And I know Sterling, he's probably not in here anymore, but if he was, he's going to argue and go, oh, bullshit, blah, 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 because he swears that he can get better fuel mileage with a manual than anybody can with an automated. But at the end of the day is with an automated transmission, it's a computer. I myself can't compete with a computer. A computer is much more efficient, right? With a manual transmission, I have to, when I'm gearing down for something, I have to do the gears in order, right? 12, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, whatever transmission you've got. With an automated transmission, the computer will make the determination and you'll go from 12, 11, 9, it'll skip 10, and same thing going back up again. It is so much more efficient. And that's what they're programmed and designed to do. So over the span of, say, a 200-mile trip, it might be a very small difference. Over a 2,000-mile, or say you do a 90-day challenge on it, right? So you're going to do 35,000 miles. Then you're going to see that where the automated transmission will actually make the difference in fuel efficiency. No, it sounds like a small tank. Yeah, it does. Your truck smells. Your truck smells. It doesn't smell. Your truck sounds like a small tank. It does. I can't run a 13 speed at 55 in top gear and be efficient one bit. Always have to split to the lower gear. At 55 on a 13 with 355, yeah. You're at 55 miles an hour and 13th, you'd probably beat about 1,000 RPM, and that engine's not supposed to run like that. As soon as you hit anything more than a hill like that, you'll start lagging. How come they make it so drivers can split their clocks, but every company will shame you for splitting and want you to run 11 and sleep 10? I understand being more easy to track. Well, it's not just that, but a lot of people screw it up, right? They screw it up. Now, when you were on paper, they'd screw it up. I very rarely, I'm not gonna say I don't, I very, very rarely use the split sleeper. I try not to, right? I try not to. I like to run my day out, run my 11 hours, do 600 miles, and then park it, get it parked, have my dinner, get my sleep and whatever like that. I very, very rarely will use the split sleeper. ISX came out right around 2003 and ended in 2018. Thanks there, Google. Wind resistance goes up exponentially with speed. Well, it does, but also when you think about this, and our company learned a valuable lesson because they actually did a study on this, because we were doing, we had a big contract with all the, with the not the hydro. Sorry, but whatever. The company had a contract, and we were taking reels, on flatbeds. We were taking reels of cable out to the hydro, right, to out in Iowa, and we were taking it to there was 4 main hubs, terminals that we were taking them out to. So all the trucks were going out there. Okay, now they noticed that 75 to 80% of the time when we were driving westbound, the wind was coming out of the west, coming east. So we were taking a headwind 85% of the time, 75 to 80% of the time, right? And then when we'd get out there, we'd go get our reload, we'd come back. So let's just say you took 45,000 pounds out and you got 7.5 miles per gallon, but then you got the same weight coming back, and all of a sudden you're getting 8.5 miles per gallon. They figured it out that it just came out to it was the wind. So if you've got a even say like a 15 to 20 mile an hour headwind, and Lance, you're right, the faster you go, the more wind resistance you're going to get. But if you've already got a 20 mile an hour headwind or a 15 mile an hour headwind, and you're going 65 miles an hour, well, you're now going from 8 miles per gallon down to 7.5 miles per gallon, right? I get 11 miles per gallon bobtail, 10 empty trailer on flat terrain, 7 pulling heavy through the mountains. I don't know if I believe that. The 11 miles per gallon bobtail, that's about right. That's about what my truck does. 10 with an empty trailer on flat terrain, nah, I'm about 9.5. I'm not quite 10, but you've got a new motor. I've got one that's got 500,000 miles on it. 7 pulling through heavy through mountains. Well, maybe, I guess. Maybe, I guess. I know what I do. Like I'm still better than 7 running through mountains. And my like I said, my motor is I got a 15 liter like yours. Mine's a Detroit. Yours is a Cummins. We're both automated, right? We both got the same 12-speed transmission. Might have different gears, but I even running hard through mountains, heavy. When I say heavy through mountains, I'm talking anything north of 42,000 pounds, right? So 42, 45, 46,000 pounds. I still do better than 7. I would think that beautiful pony you're driving there should be doing better than 7 through the hills. Yeah, I could be wrong. I average 8.8 with IXS if I am really watching what I'm doing, and the Aero with an Aero drive van. That's excellent. That's excellent. Lance, you know what? Maybe you can bring it to light because that's what Donnie's got. Lance, what year is your truck? You know, what year is your truck? I'd like to be curious. I know you said ISX, so we know the range, but where in the range is that truck and how many miles are on it? Rebuilds, 50,000 to 100,000. Rebuild what? What are you rebuilding for 50,000, 100,000? Just had a buddy rebuild an ISX at 500,000, 64,000 bucks. Yeah, isn't that crazy? At 500,000. At 500,000. Jesus, dude, you got a 60 series or the 3406 or the N14s. You got any of those trucks? You didn't have to open the top of that motor until it hit 1,000,000 miles. 1,000,000 miles. These new ones now, you know, we've got the company I'm with. We've got 14 2023 Petes, right? They're new. We took delivery of them last summer, right? We've already put 2 new motors in 2 of those trucks. Blue sky high. And I mean, when they grenaded both those motors, MX-13s, both of them, blue. Now warranty covered it, but still, these new motors, man, these new motors. Oh, looks like we've tired Nick out. His mouth's been moving so fast, he tired himself out. All the finger tapping he's been doing on the keyboard. Take it easy, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. My boss drives a Scania V8 770. Oh, now you're just making us jealous, right? My boss drives a Scania V8 770, and he gets about 9 miles per gallon loaded with lots of hills and 40 tons. Jesus. That's what I was talking about. Like we were looking at, I was talking with another couple of friends of mine that are European that came over, and they're amazed with the motor. They love the trucks that we have, right? Even Pat, you and I have talked about this, right? You love the big trucks, the big sleeper, the big long nose, the big trucks. They're big, they're beautiful as compared to what you guys do. But what you guys have for motors over there you guys are years ahead of us. Absolutely years ahead of us. Rig Pig, sorry, man. Favorite outfit you ever owned and also drove? So what was my favorite truck? Was that KW? Was the W9 with the 60 series in it? The only thing I didn't like about the W9 is it had the 72-inch bunk on it. It didn't have the studio. And that's just, a personal thing. But that was probably my favorite truck that I've ever owned. My second favorite truck, believe it or not, was the Volvo. Now, I hate to say that. Well, actually, no, my favorite truck right now, I'll be honest with you, my favorite truck right now is this Freightliner I'm driving, this Cascadia, right? It's a 2020. I bought it. I didn't buy it new. It was 8 months old when I got it. And I'll be honest with you, that knock on wood, this truck has not cost me jack. Okay. I've had to replace an outlet knock sensor, def pump, water pump, all on warranty. I've had to replace, what else? I've got a fuel tank issue going on, but that's an issue, but it's a working issue because I can still work the truck. I still drive the truck. I'm not losing any time and I'm not losing any money until I still figure this fuel thing out. But other than that, It gets 8.5 miles per gallon in the summer, 8.5 to 8.8 in the summer. It gets me fucking 7.8 to 8 in the winter. It's a moneymaker. This truck has just been 100% moneymaker. But if cost be damn on fuel and everything else, that W9, man, all day long, that W9. And that Volvo I bought that new. I bought a 14 Volvo's VNL 730. So it was the big one, but it was the mid roof. Love that truck. Love that truck. Big bunk, big sleeper, lots of room. Truck had, it was heavy spec. Had 46 rears. It was double framed. Had 14.6 steers. It was built for what I was using it for the heavy spec, for the heavy work and the oversized and shit like that. Absolutely love that truck. You could drive it into any bad position you want. The damn thing would drive itself out. Like, very forgiving. Love that truck. Cost me a lot of money though. That truck did a lot of money. It was a bad 13, 14 were a bad year for Volvos with those D13s. Electronics. I put 5 sets of injectors into that truck. 5 sets. Blew the motor out of it, which was my own doing. That was my own doing. I blew the motor out of that Volvo. I was pushing it, right? I was pushing the motor beyond the limits of what it was designed to do, and I blew that. I grenaded that thing right on the QEW, right in Oakville, right in the center lane too. She let go, boy. That was a mess. I had the same mindset about the MX-13 engine. Since my friend got a 2022 579 with PACCAR MX-13, I witnessed that it's a very good fuel efficient motor. Would get one, then I'll keep a diagnostic tool with me. It's one of those that it's whatever you're comfortable, and it's almost like risk management. It's almost like risk management. It's what are you willing to take the chance on? What are you willing to gamble with? 247 gear ratio, and I'm pulling a tad heavier going east than I am heading back west. Yeah, 247. It's a nice gear. Brian, do you remember when I bought the A&W gift card and left it zipped to your glad hand? What was your initial reaction? At first, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know who it was. I read the note, but I couldn't read the name. It was actually Dar that figured it out, because Dar was with me that day, and she said it was you. I thought it was just, my initial reaction was I thought it was somebody that knew the truck, that was either a subscriber or somebody that was just kind of looking. But yeah, I couldn't believe that. It was very gracious of you, Zach. Thank you. Dar and I went to A&W for, I think we went for lunch, and then we went for dinner. It was very cool. Thank you. I firmly believe that the Transdex side skirt kit alone added 1 mile per gallon of fuel savings. The flow below on the truck and trailer added even more. The MVT's test found Transdex saved 1.05 miles. I don't doubt that, Donnie. I would have actually thought that it might have been even a little bit more. But yeah, just by adding that alone. And if you think about it, people go, oh yeah, but that flow below system that you put on the truck costs X amount of dollars. I don't know what it cost. And then you do it on the trailer, and then you've got the skirts. You're looking at thousands and thousands of dollars. Well, right there is the number on the screen, 1.05 miles per gallon. Take that fuel savings over the span of a year. I'd be willing to bet you that fuel savings paid for that whole system. And if you keep it on your truck for, say, 3 to 5 years, it's more than paid for itself, right? It's giving you money back at that point. So absolutely. Prismium Cables contract. Yeah, they were coming out of Prismium, but I couldn't remember the name. The contract wasn't for Prismium. The contract we had was with the hydro company out in Iowa. But you're right, Zach. Yeah, we were pulling them out of Prismium. Seven pulling heavy in the mountains. Define heavy and mountains. You talking about tiny, measly 80K and those molehills in the east, or are you talking about some 100,000 plus in mountains out in BC and the northwest? No, Chaco, what I'm talking about is like heavy. Well, I don't do oversized, right? So if we're talking about just heavy, right? You're maxing out at 80,000 pounds. You're loaded heavy, right? That's as heavy as you can get. And yeah, okay, the hills that we pulled, for example, for me, this is a standard run for me. Okay, I'll run 81 south down to the 476. Now, are the hills like mountains? No, but I guarantee you, like it's only a mile. Like the hill's only a mile long, but they're fairly steep. They're not gradual grades. So and you're not doing just one or two. When you get south of Syracuse, you're constantly pulling a hill. Whether it be a steep hill or just a small grade, you are constantly pulling. So your engine is always under torque. You're always pulling. You don't always. So let's just say for, out west, well, actually, that's not fair too, because out west, you're always pulling as well, especially if you're in BC. But the long and the short of it is, no, we're not talking 100,000 pounds. We're talking, maxed out at 80 grand. And, we're pulling East Coast, doing Virginia, you're pulling fancy, shit like that. Engine rebuilds cost 50 grand to 100 grand. Well, I've never seen one yet that cost 100. I know that they can go north of 50. Hi, all drove the DD15 equivalent, the OM 472 through the Alps at 90,000 pounds, got 6.4 miles per gallon American. I would say that's pretty good, brother. I would say that's pretty goddamn good. Isn't the DD15 equivalent over in Europe? Isn't that it's Mercedes, isn't it? The OM 472? Is that Mercedes, Robert? I might be mistaken. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. And don't call me a cunt when you do it. Or what is it you're calling me last week? A daft, sorry for the language, but calling me a daft cunt. Love your trucks over there. So much space. Yeah. We've talked about that many a time. Like you can literally, like my Freightliner doesn't have the biggest bunk on the market, but compared to what Pat drives, you could stand in the back of my truck and swing a cat around and not hit the walls. His sleeper is so small, you got to go outside to change your mind, right? What RPM do you think a DD15 would run at 65 miles an hour with 224 gear ratio? DT12 transmission. Now it's a straight DT12, no overdrive, Donnie. At 65 with 224s, you're probably about 1,100, just under 1,100. At 1050, 1,100. This is me thinking. Hold on. I'm just running through the ratios of what I would say about 1,100, Don. 224s with it. As long as you don't have the overdrive and you've just got the straight DD12, I'd say about 11. Curtis is Googling the shit out of that right now. Pat, none of their sleepers are good, but their cabs are narrow. The Scania Longline has space. Yeah, our cabs are narrower than yours because obviously we have a hood on our nose that comes, it's designed to go through the air. It's not flat. So when it comes to the cab is still a little narrower, and then you get your width when you get into the bunk. Love the new DAF XG and the XG Plus. Nice sleepers. Now you guys are talking Chinese to me. I don't know what the hell you're talking. It's a PACCAR engine. Okay. There you go. It's the PACCAR. It's not the Mercedes. The black DAF I had was tweaked on the limiter at 62 miles an hour, 1,800 RPM. Not sure what the rears were though. It's 62 miles an hour at 1,800. You got what you got? 411s, 390s, 393, 395s, 393s, 411s. If you're at 1,800 RPM at 62 miles an hour, you got short little stubby legs on that fucking thing. Based on saving 1 mile per gallon, Transtex paid for itself in 8 months. Yeah, I figured it was under a year. Not sure on the flow below, just because I don't have any third-party testing that shows what the actual saves is. It doesn't matter, Donnie. Right? Under a year, the whole system paid for itself under a year, and the following years was giving you money back. Right? So it was well worth every penny you put into it. I guarantee you. Yes, that's a Mercedes engine. Okay, I thought so. My Freightliner is one of the very few that didn't come out of Mexico. If you look on my Freightliner, my trans and my diffs are actually stamped Mercedes. It says Mercedes right on them. My engine doesn't say stamped Mercedes, isn't stamped Mercedes, it's stamped Detroit. But all of my components, my trans and my diffs are both stamped Mercedes. So the differentials came over from Europe. The trans came over from Europe. The engine, I can't tell you where the engine was built. It says Freightliner on it, so I don't know. OM stands for oil motor. Yes, it's Mercedes. Daimler. Yeah, okay, Daimler-Benz. When talking about weights and measure on triaxle, what is meant by the interaxle measurement on triaxle? I know it's middle of the rear axle on tandem. Is it the same on a triaxle? You know what, Zach? That is a hell of a good question. I don't know. I've pulled thousands of triaxles. Maybe I should know this. I don't know. I'll tell you honestly. On a triaxle, what is meant by the interaxle measurement? Interaxle measurement. I would always think that interaxle measurement would be from the center axle of the front axle to the mid axle, then the mid axle to the rear axle. But dude, I could be wrong. You know what? There's got to be somebody that knows. I don't know. I think they said it's direct drive less than 264. Over 264, I believe they do overdrive on the transmission. At least that's what I recall from the sales guy at Freightliner. Yeah, okay. Oh, football scores coming in. Ole Miss 38, Penn State 25, late fourth quarter. So that's where you've been, eh? Look at this. Here he goes. Next one. Maryland 24, Auburn 7, halftime. Just in case anybody's wondering. Sweet way to go, Ole Miss. Look at this, eh? Thanks, TJ, for the sports update. I don't know how to pronounce that. The Acute engine ATM on the Mercedes are the OM 471-3 generation, 12.8 liter, and the OM 473 is a 15.6. I'm never going to remember that, Pat. I appreciate you telling me that, but damn it, I'll never remember it. I would very much love to come over there and drive a couple of those. I'd love to get into one of those Scanias or one of those Mercedes or one of those cab overs with the big motor. See, what we call the V8 diesel with 750 horsepower. I would love to get in and just drive one of those for, give me a couple of days in one of those. I think the only thing that would throw me would be driving on the other side of the road in certain countries. Because I know, like Robert, he'll start in England, like his truck, if you're sitting like looking out the windshield, hey, that was pretty quick, eh? 3D. Anyway, if you're looking out the windshield, his driver's seat is on the on the right-hand side, right? Because they drive on, for me, the opposite side of the road, right? But now I've watched Robert's videos, and he'll go from England, and then he'll go over to Europe, and then he'll be running through all the European countries. And depending on what country he's in, it'll flip-flop back and forth from driving on the right side of the road to driving on the left side of the road. Now, the only difficulty for me, first of all, I wouldn't be used to changing gears. Well, if it's not automated, you'd be okay. You wouldn't have to worry about changing gears. It would be that if I'm sitting on the right side of the truck, and I'm driving, say, in Canada with that truck, or I'm driving in the right lanes, and I want to go out and pass, or I want to see around the vehicle in front of me, I can't, right? Because I'm on the right side of the truck. I'm not on the left side of the truck to be able to, and look. It would take some getting used to. I know that Robert does it with no problem. He's been driving trucks longer than I have. And he's been doing it and he's accustomed to it and he knows what he's doing. But for me to go over and do that for the first time would probably throw me for a loop. And OM 4702 generation. That's what I thought. Well, I asked that to you because you have more diverse contact list. Well, if somebody in here knows, I don't know, but if somebody in here knows, hopefully they can give you an answer. $29.88 for the flow below on the truck and trailer. $21.75 for the Transex kit. That was back in 2021. Well, like we've already discussed, Donnie, it's paid for itself. I would very much love to have. If I had my own trailer, I'd go out of my way to find that system for the trailer. I'm milking this cigar. I keep letting it go out on purpose. I'm milking it. Georgia, Florida. Georgia versus Florida State up 3:30 Eastern time. Orange Bowl, or in Coach's case, Orange Bowl. You had to go there, TJ. Hey, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. You had to go there. Atta boy. Yeah, there you go. If it ain't Detroit or Cat, we don't need to speak on it. The rest are garbage. Yeah. The second you start going, oh yeah, I'm a pack cars, that conversation's over. Time to go home. Party's over. You take your ball and go home. Yeah, love the Detroits. And I'll be honest, yeah, like I said, the 60 series is my favorite. I'm pretty happy with this DD15. I really am. I've got no issues with this motor. I'm quite happy with it. It does what it's supposed to do. It does beyond what I think it should be doing. Love it. It's actually just the UK driving on the left and the rest of Europe is on the right. Is that what it is? Yeah. But if you're on the right side of the truck and you're on the left side of the road, you're okay. But if you're on the right side of the truck and you're on the right side of the road, that's still got to be a bitch. I hate that they quit selling the flow below kit for the trailers, but I understand why. Yeah, well, we were talking about that because didn't they originally bring it out because they thought that all the big megas were gonna scoop it up and they didn't, and it actually wasn't there. It wasn't worth it to them. Come on with it. What do you say, Bill? How the hell are you, man? Hi. Any New Year's plans or resolutions? New Year's this year, Dara and I are going up to Jeremy and Julie's place. They live about an hour and a half up the road, basically get on the highway and go up, 8 interchange, 12 interchanges, get off and go north, and we're going up to their place. So we're doing New Year's up there. I stopped making resolutions, Bill, years ago. I just don't see the sense. What am I going to say? This year's my New Year's resolution. I plan to be nicer to people. I want to lose weight. I'm going to quit smoking cigars. I'm going to stop swearing. None of which is going to happen. None of which is going to happen. How about my New Year's resolution is just be the best person I can and try to treat everybody the way I want to be treated. That covers everything, I think, eh? At least I think it does with it. That covers just about everything. Yeah, I absolutely had to go there. I know. But thanks for the laugh, TJ. How did you get all them license plates? I plead the fifth. Absolutely plead the fifth. Some of the car plates are off old cars that I've had. Couple of them fell off other vehicles. A couple of them I found, I think the one from California, I picked that up out of a truck stop. It fell off a trailer. I was walking along the back row of a bunch of trailers and it was sitting right there. So I picked it up. The Illinois plate. I don't know how that got here. I don't have a clue. But for the most part, they were either given to me, sent to me. I've got one over there from Panama. You know, shit like that. It's yeah. People know that you collect stuff, so if they find something, they'll bring it, give it to you, whatever like that. That was exactly the reason. Mega carriers trailers sit too long to make it worth the while, in the Mega's opinion. I don't know. Maybe they should have. Maybe they should have done like half their fleet to see how it worked out. I bet you. I bet you it would have been worth their while. I drove for a Dutch company, Den Harto. I think I said. I hope I said that right. When I first got my left-hand drive, I was thumping the door going for the gears, and then the first time I was back in England, I broke my. Yeah, you took the mirror clean right off, did you? Yeah, I think. I don't think well, I know I've never driven a right-hand side drive truck. Never driven one. I would like to. I would like to do it just for the experience, just to do it and see how it feels. I would also like to drive a cab over. You know, I've been in a cab over, like I've been in a K100 cab over as a passenger. I wasn't able to drive it, so I've been in one while it was driving and everything, and it's pretty cool. You know, you're basically your windshield is right here, and you're like looking you're looking straight down. That was kind of cool, but I think I would like to drive one. I really would like to drive like to drive a cab over one day. I know that the cab overs now are a lot more aerodynamic. They're not quite as fuel efficient, I don't think. I wouldn't think as say like the Volvo bodies, like they go through the air like a bullet. But I know that the inside of these things now, you're no longer having to crawl over the doghouse to get into the back of these things. I know that what is the Freightliner Aero? What is those things called or whatever? You can basically get out of the seat and walk into the sleeper now. They don't have the big doghouse thing that you're having to climb over in and out of. And think about that back in the day when all the truck drivers are great big bellied fucks like this, and they got to finish their thing, do what they're doing, put their seat all the way back, and then crawl over that, and then crawl on their hands and knees into their bed. Those things look good going down the road, but man, that's tough living in one of those things, eh? That'd be tough. Stop in and see me at exit 705, but on your way back, or at least call me and see if I'm able to stop in. I won't be coming home. I'm taking the truck up with me, and I'm going to be putting the truck in the yard, and then I will be leaving from Jares, going to the truck and going to work. So I won't be coming home to be going to visit nobody else. But I got your number. I know where you're at. STEM. Anyway. Thanks, TJ, for the laugh. I'm still giggling over that. I'll be giggling over that for about an hour. Anyway, I'm just about out of shit to talk about. Fire's good. Cigar's almost done. I think I got to go have a piss. So how about those speed limiters? Let's not talk about speed limiters. I don't agree with them. I don't like them. The megas are the only ones that benefited from that. Absolutely. I drove Tank Kelly trucking. I drove myself crazy worrying about MPG this year. I concentrated on getting as many loads done in a month as I could. And it has been a better year. Percentage pay has a different mindset. You're right, Tank. It does. Percentage pay. This is one of those areas that, Tank, if I had like another hour to sit, like just you and I alone, and we were kind of discussed it, some of what you said I agree with, some of which I don't. I am as of lately, like I'm talking like the last 6 months, I've readjusted it. I've pivoted my business and I am a cost per day driver now, right? I do everything by the day. So if I am, but I'm not a percentage driver. But if I was a percentage driver and I was like, for example, I know what you do. I know what you do, and I know what genre of trucking you're in and everything like that. And if I was doing that and I was picking my own loads, I would be doing the calculation on, okay, I've calculated my fixed cost. I know what they are per day, what it costs me per day on my fixed costs. I've got I've got a firm grip on that, and I've got my fixed costs as low as I possibly can. And then I've got my variable cost. Right now, in our business, the true really only big variable cost is your fuel. Right, it's the only one that's not set in stone. Right, your variable cost. But if you know what your average is, if your truck averages, say, let's just use 8 miles per gallon, and you know what your truck, how many miles it is, you can pretty much come up with how much a day within a couple of bucks per day, what you're going to spend in fuel. Now you take those two, you add it together, and that you'll come up with a number. Now that number, whether, again, I'm just going to pull a number out of my ass. Okay, these aren't real numbers, but let's just say that number is $700. So your fixed cost, your variable cost, everything comes to $700. Okay, so that's what it cost you. Now that's everything. That's your salary, everything. Anything you make over $700 is profit, 100% profit. Because everything else is paid. It's covered. Your taxes, your fucking, your insurance, your IFTA, everything is covered, right? So when you do it in a sense like that, and this is how guys go, well, even the guys that are on percentage, I can't run, I need 225 minimum for 250 minimum to make money. I call bull on that. If you know what your actual costs per day are, you're going to look at that and go, wait a minute. Once everything is covered, everything above that is profit. Now, if you run that on an average, let's just say, no, and I'll just use my truck as an example, right? If all my costs are covered, and let's just say I'm making $300 extra on top of that. So if my costs per day is $700 and the load pays $1,000 or $1,100, okay, that means $400 on that day is profit. And people throw their hands up and they go, well, who the hell you're not going to live on $400. You don't have to live on $400. That $400 is your profit. All your living expenses are already in your fixed costs. They're already calculated. So if you do everything on a daily fixed cost, and a cost per day, you'll have a very firm grip of what your business and how your business is doing. It'll also show you on which areas maybe you need to tweak, where you could be, maybe you could spend a few more bucks here that'll help you, and maybe not spend a few bucks. It really does work. It takes a little while to get it set up. You really need to be good at math. But once you have it in place, it's a surefire, bona fide way to make money, right? Because once those costs are covered, once that $700 is covered on $1,000 load, I made $300 profit. And then you're going to go, people said to me, yeah, but $300, that's fucking nothing as profit. You're never going to get any money in the bank. Well, yeah, I am. If you think about it this way, okay, that's $300 on one load. Now, myself personally, I do 6 loads a week. I do 3 round trips down off the East Coast. So 6 loads. Right? So 300 or say $400 per load, right? So I made $2,400 profit. That's in the bank with nothing to spend it on for 1 week. $2,400 a week in profit. What's the problem here? Anybody here have a problem with $2,400 a week in profit? That's money. That's money just sitting on a pile. It's not designated to do anything else. All of those are covered in your 700. That profit is what you're at. So now instead of going, oh my God, I need to make fucking, $2.50 a mile. No, you don't. All those loads that are sitting there for $1.80, you can pull that load and be profitable, but you just don't know it, right? So again, let's not. We can go tit for tat with anybody about all this kind of stuff, but I do agree with you. I do agree with you that percentage pay has a different mindset. But if you think about it in the terms of what I just said, and you take your mindset and wrap some of that into there, it's just a way of doing business, Tank. Really, it is. But I know the age group that you're at. You're in the same areas that I might be, maybe a few years younger. So you're probably accustomed to truck driving back years ago when we just put fuel in the tank, paid for it, turned the key, put the pedal down, and we drove like maniacs and we made money. Nowadays, unfortunately, I can't do business like that. I've had to readjust. Every couple of years, I have to readjust my business because of the way the market is. And not just the market, but it's the industry itself. The costs are changing so quickly, and the market is changing, not just the freight market, the truck market, the fuel market, the insurance market. Everything's changing so quickly. It's just almost impossible to keep up with. And if you're not able to divide yourself and pivot when at crucial times, you're going to be left behind. Again, that wasn't a shot at you. I'm not saying you're going to be left behind, Tank. I'm not. I'm just speaking for myself personally. That's all. They have Kenworth and Freightliner cabovers in Australia. Argosy. Thank you, Robert. That's what I meant. Those Argosies. And if you get the really nice Argosy, I think they're really cool. As soon as you open the door, the step comes out and you just walk up into it. It's actually kind of cool. I've seen one of those up close. If you could change the hours of service, what would I change? One thing, what would I do? Get rid of the 30-minute break. Or extend the driving hours. I think if the Americans saw our driving rules, our hours of service, the Canadian, because in Canada we're allowed to be on duty for 14, we're allowed to drive for 13, and we don't have to take a 30-minute break. We also, as long as we're staying in Canada, we also only have to do 8 hours in the sleeper. We don't have to do 10. So I think if you wrap it all up, if you could change take a lot of the Canadian hours of service and adapt those to the Americans, I think we do well. We do a lot better. That was what I would change. Lone Wolf, new sub. Hey man, appreciate that. Thanks for popping in. If you've got something to say it. Don't be afraid. Speak up. Everybody's welcome, and every opinion is welcome. Go about Lone Wolf. Go amongst us. Be happy. Be cheery. Spread the word. Tell all your friends. Bring them in. Get them subscribed. I'll send you a sticker. Just fucking with you, man. Appreciate you stopping in. Appreciate your sub. Appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Everyone's now saying hi to the Lone Wolf. Zach, have a good one, Brian. I'll tucker it out and hope you have fun with Jeremy. Peace. Later, Zach. Thanks for hanging out, man. Really appreciate you. Good questions, by the way, Zach. Good questions. I've had this argument with loads of owner ops. Your wage is not profit because you'd get that running company. Yeah, no, but as an owner operator, Robert, you have to put it somewhere, right? Your wage has to fit into I pay myself a salary. I don't pay myself, like I'm an incorporated business. So technically Brian works for the incorporated business, and I don't pay my incorporated business does not pay me personally by the mile. I just take a yearly salary, right? And it gets broken out and it comes out of my business account every 2 weeks and goes into my personal account, and that's my salary. But that has to go somewhere. It's not like there's a third or fourth category. There's only your fixed cost, your variable cost. So your fixed cost, your salary has to go into that. It would be a variable cost if it changed, right? If my salary changed, it would be a variable cost because it's obviously not fixed. But it's a gray area, Robert. I agree. But in our case, in my case, it has to go into the fixed cost category. would I be able to get, no. Tank, I couldn't get a fourth round. I might be able to get another half rounder in, right? Like I would start in Ottawa, Canada on Sunday morning, down to Berlin, New Jersey, over to either the Port of Newark, like I'm going into Newark, or I'm going into New York City, or I'm going somewhere in Jersey down there, or sometimes I'm going down to Baltimore. Reload that day, back up to Ottawa, Montreal, that area. So that's one turn. So to do 3 of those in a week, I come rolling in the door, usually somewhere around 3,200, 3,300 miles. If everything goes perfectly, I could twist another half turn in. My load up here would have to be ready to go in the yard, come in, drop the empty pin, and go. I might make it back down to Jersey, but I don't think I could. I know I couldn't get a fourth full turn in. I might be able to get a third turn in, a half turn in. But then it would. I don't think it would be profitable for me to. And that's Tank. That's running my truck and my operation at 63 to 65 miles an hour average, right? In order to do what you're asking me to do, I'd have to run that truck up to about 70 miles an hour. Now, the fuel expenditure is not going to be worth that extra half turn revenue that I'm going to make on that extra fourth turn or the half turn. It wouldn't be worth it to me. I would come out on the losing end just on the extra fuel I'd have to burn, because I'd take the truck up to 70, be climbing up and down the hills on the 81 and the 476, fart around in traffic down in Philly, blah, 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 blah. You know the deal. It just wouldn't be worth I'd burn more fuel than I'd make to make the last turn, the final turn. So no, it's not. That was a long answer to your short question. Sorry, man. As an owner operator can divvy up the salary any way they want. You can have unknown huge costs that can erase all profit for the past X months. It's however you want to look at it. With it, I agree with you. I'm just saying that this is how I do it. And I'm not saying that I have the end all be all and this is the best way to do it. This is how I do it. And from all of the other ways over the 21 years I've been in, 22 years now, I've been an owner operator. This is the best way so far for me. And I know other businesses, other trucking companies and other businesses and other individuals such as myself that are now doing it this way, and they're reaping the benefits of that as well. That's all I'm saying, Bill. I'm not saying that anything that I'm doing is anything better than what you're doing. It's not. It's whatever works for you and the mindset you want to be in and what you consider to be good money and profit and what I consider to be good money and profit. They could differ. So what you're doing and the profit you're making is what you want to make, and cost be damned a wheel burner or whatever, or get lucky, have very low costs. An average it out over a year is probably the most common way of seeing an owner operator profits and wages. It's the most common way to do it. But I think the most accurate way to do it is on a daily basis. I know on a daily basis how much money that truck's made, right down to the fucking penny. I also know on a daily basis how much that truck has cost me, right down to the penny. I don't have to wait till the end of the week, the end of the month, the end of the year to get those averages. I can sit there and I have it right there in front of me at the end of my day. Chicken Hulk, calm down, wheel burner, do 3 turns and get home and relax. Yeah, you're right. I'm not doing 4 turns. Now, Tank, if they came to me and said, okay, we'll pay you an extra $1,500 to make the attempt to do the 4th turn, would I do it? Yes, I would. I'd run that. I'd dial that truck up to 80 if I can, if I got the room on the highway to do it. Speed limit on the 476 is 70. Speed limit on the 81 is 65. Speed limit on the 76 going through Philly is 55 and 65. and the Atlantic Expressway, the speed limit's 55. So I'd have to really I'd really have to be like pushing. But if somebody said, if the owner of the company says, we'd like you to take a swing and at least get the half turn down, we'll pay you an extra $1,500. Tank, I'd take a swing at that all day long. I would, because now that $1,500 is going to more than compensate me for whatever fuel I'm going to burn. Sorry, came in late. Go for P, young fella. I will try to catch the next one. Hey, you know what? I drive truck for a living. I can hold piss for hours, man, like a camel. Like a camel. I only do 2,215 miles, one round, then go home and climb into my vodka bottle. It's such a comfy bottle. Hey, would you believe this, Mike, that those bottles that you brought up to Dar, she still hasn't got into them yet. I don't know what she's waiting for. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know. I know that she's going to get into one of them for New Year's because we're taking it up to Jared's place. But would you believe that she has not opened those bottles yet? I'm dying for her to open. I want to smell one of them. I want to smell what those are. Both are needed to really get into the weeds of efficiency and profitability of any truck. You know what, Spectre, I agree with you. I agree with you. Spectre, you and I have discussed many a time profitability, efficiency. I think the most important thing in our business right now is efficiency, right? Once you can get your efficiency nailed down and become very, very efficient, you will be then a side piece to that is you then become profitable, right? Again, this is just me thinking loud while I'm talking to you here. But I think efficiency, fuel efficiency, your truck's efficiency, you as a driver being efficient, it all falls into one. If you can get the whole operation down to being very efficient, then the profit of you'll make money and the profit will come with it. They both have their place, but by the day does get you a very firm hold as long as you track all your expenses. Agreed. And that's how you have to set yourself up. And that's why I said earlier, it does take you a little bit of a while to swing from one way of doing it to the other, because you've got to set yourself up properly to do it, right? When I did it, I had to talk to some other people that were doing it to make sure that I was doing it right. Because in the beginning, I wasn't. I was forgetting this and I wasn't adding that, or I kind of, once I was able to speak to a couple other people that were doing it and they were doing it right and doing it efficiently, that's when I was able, okay, ding, the light came on. Of course you would if they paid you. All good whores will do anything for money. Oh, Chicken Hawk, you don't want to know in my life what I've done for money, or what even in my future life, what I will do for money. There's no limit, buddy. If there's enough zeros on the end of it, pretty much anything. But I do, but to say I need 225 a mile is a terrible statement. And to me, is a flag to reevaluate what you're doing. You're right. You're right. And that's the first thing I say to people. When somebody says, oh man, I can't pull a load for under 225 a mile, I look at them and I say, are you sure? Oh yeah, absolutely. What makes you say that? Well, my truck burns this amount of fuel and okay, your fuel is only one part. Your payment is another part. There's 17 other parts in there. Do you have control? Do you have a firm grasp on those? Probably not. Right? If you don't know what is your bottom number per mile that you can run, that will be dictated by your cost per day. Right? Your cost per day will dictate what your bottom. We're seeing guys now that I can't run for less than 250 a mile. And now they're taking those loads. You know, they'll take a load for $1.60 a mile. Are they banking huge amounts of profit? No, they're covering their costs. So all of their costs, everything is being covered. And they may only put $150 worth of profit in the bank, but it'll get them over from here to here. And they're not taking a loss, because a lot of people will either deadhead over, or they'll just grab some piece of shit and take a loss on it. But if you know that you can take $1.60 a mile or $1.50 a mile and still be profitable, why the hell wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you take it? Take it from a bad area to get yourself into a good area. I'll do about 180 every year, give or take, and that's perfect for me. I'm blessed and thankful. You know what, with it, you nailed it. If that's what works for you, and that's what a lot of us out here, we don't realize, right? We don't know. Well, we want constantly more, or we don't think it's enough, or you seem to have that comfort. You found that comfort level. This is what I make. This is how much I need. This is my lifestyle. Hey, I got everything covered. I'm happy. You know what? I'm happy for you, Bill. Good for you, man. Good for you. Holding piss. It comes on. It comes on, goes off until your dick starts twitching and you have to pull up and go. Everyone wonder why I'm pissing on the grass in the back of the trailer. I agree. What? I drove those vodka bottles 1,453 miles all the way from Florida to Canada. Dude, I'm telling you, those bottles have neither one of them have been cracked open yet. Not even cracked open. I don't get it. I don't get it. She begged you for fucking months, like a better part of a year, right? Like she begged you for a better part of a year to get a couple bucks. She begged me to try to get them and then begged you to bring them up, and you find it, and she hasn't drank them. Then you piss. No, actually, Robert, you hold it, and then you you hold it, and you hold it, and you hold it, and then you finally let it go. You get a little trickle. That was all you get. And it's like, fuck, all of that just for that. I saw an elephant pee at the zoo once. It's a lot. Well, yeah. Well, I hope you're. First of all, Bill, I hope you're not calling me an elephant. And I would imagine an elephant taking a leak. The thing's probably got a bladder that'll hold 5 gallons. You know, think about it, right? Look at the size of the damn thing. I saw a small river form. Yeah, no doubt. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, cigar is almost done. So this time I'm seriously going to say, see you later. See you later. See you later. Thanks for stopping in. You guys, awesome questions. Good conversation. Really appreciate it. She didn't beg me, but I promised Dar I would get some of that vodka to her, and I don't like to break a promise. Well, you broke a you didn't break the promise. You brought it up, but she broke the promise. She didn't drink it. What do you use with a mixer with vodka? I don't drink, so I don't mix anything with vodka. And when I did drink, I drank vodka straight. But I don't know. Chicken Hawk, what is it you like? There's something that she's supposed to mix with it. I can't remember. Dar knows. I was actually big on screwdrivers, just vodka and orange juice, or straight vodka. Yeah, but if you've got a dick like an elephant trunk, like an elephant's trunk, it's probably. Fuck up. Yeah, Bill, you got it, eh? Damn, Robert. Oh, Robert, you don't disappoint, man. You really don't disappoint. There you go. Yeah, with it, there you go. Cranberry pomegranate juice with orange vodka. Oh, yeah. I'm assuming it's excellent. Put it this way, with it, many a time I've been texting with Chicken Hawk when he's about halfway through one of these bottles and mixtures. The conversation is very colorful. I guess the mix and the vodka and the pomegranate mix, they work real well because usually Chicken Hawk's pretty happy while he's drinking it. Actually, what is it today? Today's you're drinking it right now, aren't you? I bet you. I'll be willing to bet you he's drinking it right now. He's sitting at home. He's either sitting at home or he's down in the Keys. He jumped in the plane and went down to the Keys. He's probably drinking it right now. I'm waiting to see what he says. He's probably too drunk to fucking type anymore. No. Oh, yeah, you go trucking on Saturdays. No, I go trucking on Saturdays. That's right. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting texts. Okay. I asked Dara earlier what time she needs me to pick her up, so she's just sending me a message. Tell me I got to go pick her up. Anyway, I'm gonna go do that because now I'm gonna go piss and then have a bite to eat and then go pick up Dar. So, guys, thanks for hanging out. Good talk. Good shooting the shit. Everybody, if you're home with your family, Happy New Year. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your family. Take the time. We as drivers, as people in the industry, we need this time at home. So enjoy yourselves. Stay the fuck out of jail. If you call me for bail money, don't, because I will not bail you out of jail, chicken hawk. Right? So Happy New Year to everybody. Hopefully everybody has a good New Year, a good safe New Year. Unfortunately, if you're on the road and you're not going to make it home for New Year's and you are stuck somewhere, I'm sorry for that, man. It sucks. I've been there. I've done it. But you know what? Happy New Year to you. Be safe. And with that, guys, we will talk to you later. We'll see you down the road, eh? Canadian, eh? See you down the road, eh? Be good. See you later.